allows her to use any other buff that happens to be available in the store.
Wait, what, huh?
Oh my gosh, cool.
Her buff is Mimic.
Does it mean it takes away one of our buffs? Or just
No.
says, okay.
She just replicates any other buff in the store.
That's fine.
By using her own buff. Now that, of course, means that she is limited to whatever happens to be available in the store that given day.
Awesome.
We got another fun one in there. Team Up will be new for many of you. Team Up allows our audience to give you guys something you can do together. Team Up lets any two players work together cooperatively on a turn at the best initiative and the best skill score to do a combined action. But team ups is what this thing is all about.
Sweet.
And they've always made the best rule cool, so I thought maybe just putting a team up as a normal item in there to do.
I choose to team up with Rhodes.
You gotta get Rhodes to agree with you.
We have the power of chat compels you, which you can make them talk in any kind of wonderful voices. We've got some people who haven't had a lot of avatars, so that it's more fun with some of our more long-term players. But as things change and more people get added in, that will become more and more fun. We have the meta meltdown to just instill absolute insanity, because this show is never crazy enough. We have to have that. System Shock, which is one of my personal favorites. It just messes up wherever they wanted to be on the slider and puts them somewhere completely different. It's just nice to throw the little wrench in. We've got the dance, magic dance. If you really want us to dance like you're trained monkeys, we will do that.
Or just dance.
For money.
For money.
For money.
Absolutely. I will do almost anything.
When you put it that way, it sounds really dirty. We'll dance for money.
Yes.
I will.
We're private dancers.
Yeah.
Dancers for money.
Yes.
Yes.
Did we go offline for a moment?
Happy about
We
it.
did. We missed the very initial intro, so we'll just say, hi, it's Masters of the Metaverse, and now we're back.
It is Masters of the
There you go.
Metaverse. I mean, I think it's Masters of the Metaverse. I hope it is. Otherwise,
Otherwise, the wrong people are here.
yeah, and we're all here, which would be quite the interesting coincidence. But going back to our store, my favorite item, the Roll of Cool.
Yeah.
Mostly because I just love to hear what insane things people come up with.
Yeah.
Let's see an actual professional at work hashtag Bruno
Yeah.
Thank you, Chad.
Thanks, Mark.
Evening all. I'm super hyped for today.
Merrick?
Thank you. And in addition to the store, we have our Patreon polls that happen every week. And I've got the results if you guys want to know how popular you were with our fans this week. Helen, you get plus 20 hit points and plus 6 to a roll this week. Chris, plus 20 hit points and plus 5 to a roll this week. Mark, plus 20 hit points and plus 3 to a roll. Vanessa, plus 30 hit points and plus 7 to a roll.
Thank you so much.
And then I get plus 10 and plus 2 to a roll, which I think I just get as a pittance because they don't want to give me nothing. But I know the truth. You're not fooling anyone.
Patreon loves Aquamarine.
Oh, and how about we roll some credits?
Yes.
A group of strangers was brought together through blackmail, lies, and advertising campaigns. They became metapilots, people capable of traveling to strange new places called metaverses and inhabiting the remarkable people known as avatars who lived within. At first, it was just a game, but it soon became a struggle for all reality. Betrayed by an entity that they once trusted, the one known as Tom, these metapilots slayed a would-be immortal, healed a broken world, and saved the entirety of the metaverse. But now, they must answer for their deeds. The metaverse sends you where you need to be. But where are they?
Conscripted by a secret organization, a group of strangers is loaded into experimental metapods, hurtling their souls across dimensions and into unsuspecting avatars. With each trip across reality, these newly minted metapilots gain access to unique powers and abilities, slowly transforming them into true masters of the metaverse.
Masters of the metaverse, masters of the metaverse. They travel through time and space and stars. control them, re-roll them, throw them above. They fly through dimensions, this isn't a bluff. Heroes compelled, they have no choice, bound by the winds of a secret voice. Masters, masters of the metaverse. Masters, masters of the metaverse. Masters, masters of the metaverse. Masters, masters of the metaverse.
Welcome back. Previously, our pilots were locked away in the prison known as Meta End by Rhodes, after the events involving Tom back home in their metaverse. Over the last 3 episodes, you've watched Crash, Rosie, Wyatt, Maddox, and eventually Zenda formulate an escape and execute an escape plan with the aid of Thomas, only to discover that it was Rhodes planning the whole thing all along. Forced to take a deal to unlock their metaverse, clear their names, and find a way back home. Today, we're going to catch up with some of our other pilots and what's been happening with them. Bruno Hamilton. In the blink of an eye, you went from the rooftop of a Joe's Diner to a sterile plain room.
With a heart.
Because I haven't watched the show Live in Forever, hashtag Andi buff, hashtag Bruno buff, hashtag Thomas buff, hashtag Aqua buff.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very
Holy
much.
smokes.
I'm glad that you watched the show live.
But at least you were not alone. Andi James, your granddaughter, was still by your side. A computerized voice ordered you to strip for decontamination and prepare for processing. We're not going to go into a great deal of detail at the moment, but suffice it to say you learned exactly what the security drones here were capable of, and exactly how many it takes to bring you down. After you woke in a simple cell with 2 cots, Andi on the other one, it didn't take you long to figure out you were in some kind of prison. Not your first time. The uniforms, for a start, were a dead giveaway with serial numbers on them. PXX191 for yourself, and P95726 for Andi. There were other occupants in this prison, and there was the scheduled paste feedings, the security drones, and every other wonderful aspect of prisons you've come to know and hate. It didn't take long for the local boss to make a move on the new fish. First, a pair of knuckle-dragging meatheads in an isolated hallway. You let them off easy, mostly to avoid repeated tasing from the stupid drones. The second time, there were 6. It was supposed to make an example out of you. Avoiding the tasing wasn't possible that time. However, when you woke up and made it out to the yard later, it was satisfying to see that none of them would look you in the eye. Intending to end this one way or another, for Andi's sake, you confronted their leader, an insect-like humanoid named Boggs. After a rather tense discussion where you explained that it would be unlikely that even the drones could save him if his arms were shoved through his mouth, it was decided that a live and let live policy should be adopted by all parties. Through it all, Andi remained quiet and spent most of her time in the cell you shared. Whatever was on her mind, she wasn't ready to share with you, and truth be told, you really have no idea how to deal with that sort of thing. I mean, 6 goons in a hallway? No problem. Granddaughter? No idea. You have not been trained for this.
Bruno's emotional spectrum.
Pretty much, yeah.
Aw.
Andi James, as disorienting and terrifying as it was to suddenly be in a sterile, horrible place, it was not the worst part. Not by far. Not even the heartbreak of Tom's betrayal, or the nightmares from Toyland or any other horrible places you traveled to. It was the emptiness. No blue streak. No Abigail. No anyone. You can't feel any of them. And it is devastating. You know that you should be happy. I mean, your grandfather with you, but it's really hard to get past that empty feeling. You scarcely even noticed when Grandpa Bruno handled the prison bully. There's nothing here. Nothing in this place, and it was the most frightening thing you felt your whole life. Aquamarine, 1 second, you're fighting to save the metaverse at Joe's Diner. The next, you're waking up on the floor of a simple cell, seemingly without even a door. Your clothes gone, replaced by a simple jumpsuit, not unlike a prison uniform. In the upper corner, a simple serial number, P37993. A dispenser that intermittently supplied a paste that experimentation proved was some kind of food. A small sink, a shower, cot, and a toilet. And you couldn't feel any of them, not a single one of your avatars. Time shift, nothing happened. Sorcery, nothing. Alone in a tiny cell. Days, weeks passed. You're not really sure. Time became rather abstract. Nothing ever changed. Trapped in your own mind, you began to unravel a little. Screamed, tried to pry your way out, tear apart the cell. Worst that would happen is it would fill with gas. You'd fall asleep and wake up just as it was before. No contact with anything. And for all of you, it continued until one day, instead of waking up in your cell, you woke in a small, simple room with a few benches, a chair, and a man named Rhodes sitting, waiting patiently.
Good morning. Hello, wake up, everybody. I'm right here. There, you see me. That's good. How's everyone feeling this morning? Afternoon, evening, I'm not really sure what it is. Mr. Hamilton, Mr. James, Aquamarine, name legally changed. So,
To Sapphire Industries.
I can see you're all just thrilled to see each other and me. I'll give you 5 seconds to catch up.
Hey.
All right, that was great. I'm glad we all had that moment. First order of business, you're all being transferred out of Meta End, effective immediately. Do you understand?
Where are we going?
I'm glad you asked. Before we get to that, though, I do need to point out one small fact. Mr. Hamilton, you have not been charged with or accused of or convicted of any metaversal crime. You are here 100% because Miss James asked you to be here. And we acquiesced to that since she is who she is on level 5. You are free to go back to your own metaverse. Bonds fully restored at any time.
Okay.
Or you can stay with them to accompany them with what they're going to do.
And that is?
I will be getting to that directly. I'm just letting you know what your rights are. You can go home. All right. So, you're being transferred, so you gotta wait here. All right? Right here in this room. You understand?
Where is here?
This is somewhere in Meta End, in the prison. We're calling it the transfer room today. Now, the secret of the transfer room is, under no circumstances are you to leave through that door after I leave and try to escape. Do you understand? Need a verbal response from everyone here, folks. Under no circumstances, when I leave this room, are you to go through that door to escape this prison. Do you understand?
Okay.
Yes.
Yes.
All right. Mr. Hamilton, as I'm sure there is not an escape attempt about to happen, I would like to say this is your last opportunity to go home. Barring their success in what they have to do. That's all I can tell you right now. So, stay or go.
I'll be staying.
All right, well, I am going to go over in this door to do God knows what. All right? You stay right here and prepare for transfer. Under no circumstances are you to blah, blah. I think you got it. All right, bye-bye.
And you're alone in a simple, sterile room. It's an open doorway, and it smells vaguely like fried food and hamburgers. Kind of wafting through that doorway.
How long have we been here?
More than 2 months.
got 9 weeks.
Were you keeping one of those prison calendars? Please say yes.
Something like that.
Little scritches?
They were well hidden, whatever it was, since I had to ask.
I tried to make scritches, but the walls wouldn't make them.
Or they wipe them back down afterwards.
Something like that. So you guys wanna
I
go
think
through that
we've
door?
been given some pretty obvious hints. I don't know what else to do.
I mean, other than going in and seeing whatever the hell he's doing, yeah. I assume.
Oh, that's right. Door disappears behind me.
It's like you know me.
You're the
I
first
think that was a good thought.
you're the first people I'm seeing this whole time.
You've been in solitary?
I guess. So?
How are you feeling?
I'm not sure.
Any crazier than usual?
Gosh, that's a good question.
It's a hell of a long time to be on your own.
No. Maybe no, not more crazy than usual. Just different. Without feeling them. I'm not sure what to do.
It's so lonely.
Well, should we walk through the door?
Yes.
Yes.
You step through the door and you're stepping into Joe's diner.
This looks familiar.
Rhodes is sitting at one of the booths.
God damn it.
You made it. Great. I took the liberty of ordering all of you your favorite meals. Now that you're here, they will be served, as they will not serve me here.
I've never ordered anything here before.
You don't think he knows what you like to eat?
I don't know what I like to eat.
I'm pretty sure Hollywood's got it figured out. It's a singular talent of his.
I can't wait to find out.
I'm sure it'll be delicious. All right, so.
You had her in solitary for 9 weeks?
Yes.
Why the hell would you do that?
Because other than Ronald Zenda, she is the highest escape risk of anybody who's ever been in that prison.
It's a good call.
It's a little bit cruel. Maybe.
Yes, and yet here you are in a diner. So what are we complaining about right this second?
Perhaps a
I don't know
general
what-
lack of information.
Yes.
Right, well, hey, I'm happy to sit down and just waiting for your food to show up.
Pretty sure the Geneva Conventions don't apply in
A
this
couple of
situation.
plates get dropped off. Apparently, you really wanted crab cakes today. They
Wow.
look absolutely amazing.
They do look really
I've
good.
never had one before.
All right, so those are. Can I?
Oh,
Are you gonna
Hollywood.
eat? Are you gonna eat one of those French fries? Can I just? No. Sorry, no. I wasn't gonna eat anything. I'll just sit back down. All right.
Bruno slides his steak over
No,
to...
don't worry. It'll just disappear every single time. I'm really not allowed to eat here. All right, so before we get started, I would like to let you know that most, if not all, of your compatriots have already escaped Meta End.
Much
Where
the
are
same
they?
way we did?
Hmm?
Much the same way we did?
No, they had a hard time of it, I'm afraid. I just needed to move things along. So,
What do you mean by that? Move what along?
all right, so they escaped. And if, while they escaped, they happened to bring down a very powerful metaverse criminal, then perhaps they could expect to have all of their charges dropped and the metaverse unlocked and they get to return home to it.
I see.
Now, since you've escaped, obviously the same should apply, don't you think? A chance at redemption? A chance to get home?
Seems fair.
So here's what I'm offering. You help me bring down this criminal. I unlock your metaverse. You can go home, and things will be as they should. All charges will be dropped. With the
So
understanding that you'll
who-
have a better idea of the rules in the future.
Ah, yes, rules.
I still
Could you
don't
go
know
over
what
them?
any of the rules are.
Well, this is an opportunity to learn them.
What are they?
I meant this coming up experience is a great opportunity.
see.
to
Oh,
learn
so
them.
right now you won't list like bullet point.
Your drone should have told you what all of your crimes were if you asked.
You
I
mean
think the drones were otherwise engaged.
Oh, they're all programmed to answer questions if you ask them.
Not what the hell are you doing, apparently.
Oh no, the answer to that is almost always tasing you.
Sometimes it's electroshock.
So, they are on currently another assignment. Although you will be running into them from time to time as your home base of operations will be similar and not based on your own metaverse since it is currently locked. So here's the deal. Due to Zenda's sabotaging of the metapilot that was built inside Joe's diner, Tom's personality, or rather entire being, was fragmented into several tiny little pieces that went into several tiny little metaverses. Now, because Tom is not a metapilot, he is not able to enter avatars. Unfortunately,
Then to the rolling heaven itself I cried, asking, what lamp of destiny to guide her little children stumbling in the dark? And a blind understanding. Heaven replied, hashtag hack attack.
Thank you, chat.
Thank you, Jet.
great? Thank you.
because of that, Tom is not able to go into normal avatars and must possess normal people. So he
So-
will be in several metaverses. He is to be brought to justice in all of them.
Is the criminal we're taking down Tom?
No. That's just your part of it right now.
I see. Care to tell us more about this criminal we're taking down?
I can, but I need to make sure that you're on board first.
Oh,
And since the Tom problem was yours to start with, I'm going to let you clean it up. My gift to you.
How
In addition to the whole freedom thing that I'm also offering.
how is the Tom thing our fault?
It happened in your metaverse. It came from your metaverse. It is a direct result.
It roped us in from
It is a
our
direct result of
metaverse,
the
but it
metaverse's
was
interactions with specifically you individuals.
Oh,
We had
I
no
wonder
choice.
about a chicken and an egg situation here because I feel like we did not cause the Tom. The Tom
I
caused
did not
us.
say this was fair, Andy James.
Clearly.
Oh, okay, all right. That's all.
But what
You
it
need
is
to
a
say.
chance. Tom is still dangerous. Even though he can't possess avatars, he can jump from person to person just by touching them.
Subway 500 bonus 50 Aquamarine. This is the Metaverse speaking. You should seduce the hat off of Rhodes and then wear it in triumph. Hashtag habitat.
I mean, I could
She
totally do that. Oh, that's the hat. Oh.
Who knows what they're working on for a hack?
Cool.
Oh, good lord.
something.
Standing
Who even
by.
knows? All right, so we're going to be traveling through different metaverses, not making too many waves,
Yes.
Miss James,
Yes.
and just doing what you're supposed to do in those metaverses and finding the Tom and arresting him and bringing him to justice.
Oh boy.
It won't be that hard. He's not in an avatar. He'll have to take the bodies of regular people.
I'm not worried all that much about finding and arresting the Tom. I'm worried about breaking more laws. The laws that we don't know.
Yeah. Can you tell us? Could you just give us like 3?
I've
Sure.
been told not to make
I'm
waves,
happy to give
but
you
I'm
a
put
couple.
in a kiddie pool and I don't know
Don't kill
what to do.
anybody of temporal importance to a metaverse.
Temporal importance.
Someone who is historically important to that person, to that metaverse's timeline.
Okay. All right.
That's a big one.
all
How are
right.
we supposed to
What
know
else?
the difference?
You know the difference. Almost all of them are avatars.
Ah.
And you should be able to sense those.
We can do that?
What about us? Can you give us another
We
one?
can.
Yes,
Okay.
I'll give you another one.
Thank you.
do not transfer objects from one metaverse to another. Ever.
Does that include skills? Because I feel like possibly those things.
Pilot abilities do not count.
Well, great. Perfect. Oh, wait, I don't have them
I
anymore.
specifically said objects.
You did say objects.
How do you even do that?
Ask Ronald Zenda. And Aquamarine, for that matter. Still not sure how she pulled that off.
Crab cakes.
Also not sure why she's giggling. That's part of the editor in solitary.
Uncomfortable.
I haven't seen it in a long time,
here's a
you
big
guys.
one. In places where there's no magic, don't raise the dead. Please. Please don't raise the dead. Unless resurrection is a spell
Can
available in
you do
that
that?
metaverse, don't raise the dead.
Raise the dead. What if we kill somebody of temporal importance and then raise them again?
Oh.
Special dispensation may be made on a case-by-case basis. As a level 5, you are able to plead your case.
So what I'm hearing is I have a new objective.
If that's the way you want to play it, Miss James. How was prison?
Lonely.
Why weren't we told these rules several years ago?
Well, we didn't
Tom.
realize that your metaverse was active. In fact, it's not supposed to be, which is also part of why you're here. There was a faction in your metaverse that made that not a thing for long enough, we just didn't look at it.
What exactly does active mean?
A place of active travel. Metaverse travel. Pods in use, places of power, transference of consciousness from one universe to another.
So is there a difference between locked and not active?
Yes, not active means there's still a way to get there. Locked means we closed all the doors and locked them.
Sorry, this whole thing's a little bit new to me still.
I understand. Like I said, you didn't have to be here, but now that you're here, you do have to be here.
Next question. Where's Crash Jackson?
Escaped and currently on Arena with a lot of your other compatriots.
And Colonel Jackson?
Is on your Prime Metaverse.
Why did he not go to the meta end with the rest of us?
He did. Just not with the rest of you. It was sometime before. He used his pass.
His pass?
Not something I can really talk about, Aquamarine, I'm sorry. Alright, so, do we have any other questions? I'm going to have to get going, because Zenda and Thomas are going to be waiting for you with details on where you are and what you're supposed to be doing.
We're working with Zenda?
And Thomas.
Okay.
Mr. Jackson has already punched him in the face repeatedly. In case you're wondering.
Can I have some more crab cakes?
Reassuring.
Don't ask me, I'm not allowed to order things here. Any more questions?
What did you do that pissed off the diner?
I may have tried to arrest Hollywood once.
What?
Charges were dropped, but I am...
Apparently so is your service.
Yeah. Since they can't ban me from the diner, they have to let me in, but they don't have to serve me. And they don't serve me.
That's great.
When I retire, apparently I get a free meal, though. It's pretty exciting.
Oh, good lord. Why didn't you retire ages ago?
Because the terms of my service are 10,000 years.
How much do you have left?
So who do we have to kill of temporal
Hard to
importance
tell.
here?
Not long.
No.
Really looking forward to never seeing any of you again.
The hell did you do that got you into this for 10,000 years?
I'm a patriot, sir. Same as you.
That's a hell of a long sentence.
It's not a sentence, it's a term of service. And the service is worth it.
Is that what we're doing right now?
Yes. You're acting unofficially as agents of Metaverse enforcement.
Wait, I have one more very important question.
funny.
If we are working in your service, does that mean that we will also be denied service?
No, it's
I'm just double checking.
No one
This
else
is
in
important
Metaverse
to me.
enforcement
It's
has...
just him.
It's
It's
just,
just him.
It's literally
Just him.
just me. Gates
that
can eat
Hollywood
here
saying?
anytime she wants.
Yes.
So, any other questions?
I assume, should we fail in this endeavor, any knowledge of us will be disavowed?
All knowledge of you has already been disavowed. That's part of why this is going to work. Right now, if you need to do anything in the metaverse that you will be located in for prime travel, your best defense against those people is the fact that you just escaped a prison. Keep that in mind if it ever comes up.
Interesting.
I can't really give you too many more details than that. However, Zenda and Thomas will be taking care of you. Hopefully you won't have to deal with me anymore for a little while. Enjoy your meal. It looks really good.
It
Really,
is.
really good.
It's really good.
Anyway, I cannot be involved with any planning of any potential crimes or clandestine missions, so I'm just going to take a walk. You guys have a great...
How do we get a hold of you?
And he's gone.
He said we were enforcement
Oh,
of the
good God.
metaverse. That's funny.
That's worrying.
Do we get uniforms?
Definitely
No.
not. We're undercover for sure. Deep
Well,
cover.
I love an Aquamarine in uniform.
Thank you. We'll see what I can do
think-
about that.
We are still in prison uniforms.
Oh. Do we get a little change? Oh, well, I guess we will
So-
not be here anymore.
How does this work? We like walk out of the diner and then we're in some place that we're supposed to be looking
At
for
that
Tom?
moment, you happen to see down at the end of the counter, there's a dark-haired woman with glasses. She has a strawberry milkshake in her hand. And as your eyes meet, she kind of does this little head motion.
Milkshake.
And then you look away for just a brief second, and there's nobody there. There's just a milkshake sitting at the end of the counter.
Okay, so chat.
Very
Hi.
hopeful.
But
Okay.
there's a hallway over there that you've never seen before. You swear, you've been in Joe's a few times now, and there's never been a hallway leading that direction before. Just at the end of the counter, too, past that milkshake.
I charge impetuously forward.
The hallway leads very quickly to a door. It's got tape over it, masking tape, and in Sharpie is written, "Broom closet, not a way out, no really," with a winky face drawn next to it.
That's worked last time, right?
That's
I
fantastic.
mean, how many times can that work before we run out of luck is my first question, but my second question is probably, winky faces are ubiquitous across all metaverses? I love it.
Yeah, and this winky face
sense.
gives me a sense of jovial whimsy that I feel good about as I eat the crab cakes as we stand in front of the door.
Are your pockets full of crab cakes?
No,
Yeah, she got a second
Hollywood.
order.
That's
Hollywood hooked me
amazing.
up.
That
Hook
is
me up.
amazing. The infinite crab
I mean,
cake.
after 9 weeks of pace, that's a pretty darn good deal.
So good. I didn't even know I liked food. What to do?
But you're staring at masking tape on the door.
All right, step back, guys. I check out the door handle and see if there's a lock or any
Nah,
sort
it's
of
for those
trigger.
classic internal doors.
No
and-
very poisonous spiders, no bucket of water above the door.
No.
Questions.
Yeah. No tripwires, no hairs. Pop open the door and kind of step to the
Just
side.
bright white light on the other side of it.
Oh, like Beetlejuice.
As Bruno touches it, he disappears.
Holy crap.
Oh, well, shit, I'm not sticking around. I'm gonna follow.
You step into the light. They're gone.
Same.
All right.
Oh my
Stepping
God.
through,
Laughing.
you enter a metaverse and promptly tumble head over heels down a sand dune. It
He's
takes a good
worried.
20 seconds to stop. The air is stuffy and hot and oppressive. The sky is a dull orange. And although there's no clouds in the sky, there is no sun. There are wind-swept dunes all around you. Behind you at the top of the sand dune you just rolled down, the bright white light winks out of existence. And in the distance, you see scattered bits of ruins and a rapidly approaching dust trail. It gets closer and closer, and you can make out a weird Jeep-esque vehicle. And there's Thomas at the wheel, driving. And Zenda's in the passenger seat with him. They pull up alongside you. Welcome to Arena, ladies and gentlemen. I'll be your tour guide. Hop in. Chop chop. We don't have all day.
Come back.
Please be certain to fasten your seatbelts. Thank you.
She's
Johnny.
really big on the seatbelt thing.
Have y'all?
There's a reason for that.
We just went to a Were we in a different metaverse right now?
Ah, excellent. Were you at the diner?
Yes.
Did you try the new jalapeno poppers?
No.
They're fantastic. A little bit spicy, but good.
Damn
Next
it.
time. Next
I
time.
think only one's slipping because that's like right up there at the top of my list.
Next time. So have y'all ever been to a metaverse without being in a pod before?
Yes.
I haven't.
Sort of.
I'm not sure I've ever
Kinda?
been to a metaverse.
Welcome
Up or down?
to a great new experience, I guess.
So
All
It
right.
doesn't seem
so
to be as
Mr.
sudden. I'm not sure I'm liking it so far.
It's Arena. You'll get used to it. Mr. Wells and I set up a remote facility with provisions. We've gotten some older to me style metapods up and running. It's deep enough and shielded enough that if you stay there, you shouldn't attract any attention. We ought to be able to pull this whole thing off without being noticed. And really, we want to be unnoticed.
That would be ideal.
Mr. Jackson, Ms. Harvin, Mr. Maxwell, and Ms. McFernan are already inside Coliseum. I was able to sneak them in. I just hope they have the sense enough to keep a low profile. Unfortunately, I have no idea where Mr. Robbins or Dr. Clarkson happen to be. Rhodes has assured me they're no longer in Meta End, and as much as I hate him, I know he doesn't lie. Now, there's some things you need to understand about this place. First of all, no one here is your friend. They will all want something from you.
Here?
Here, in Arena.
In Arena.
This is not a safe place. Particularly if you are a pilot, which all of you are.
Is this like a planet?
Fortunately, I brought friends
It's a
with me.
place. It's complicated. They will use you in any way that they possibly can. So don't trust anyone you run into here. No one. Life has almost no meaning here other than what someone can get for it. And if at all possible, don't leave the facility that Mr. Wells and I set up for you. You are ill-equipped to deal with the dangers here. During the drive, you get a look at Arena, and in the distance, a gleaming city.
Aquamarine, you've been here before. To Arena. Hashtag hack attack.
Oh, yes.
Is the air okay for everyone?
No?
There's not much I can do about it. I just wanted to check in.
They're warm.
You pass through all these sprawling, vast dunes, and there's scattered ruins of no particular type, from like ancient Roman-looking construction to the modern, rusted-out skeletal superstructures of skyscrapers.
Arena.
And all of them seeming to exist without any particular order to them, as though someone just picked them up and randomly threw them out. Occasionally, small, bright white spots of light appear in little various locations. Some of these last for a few seconds. Some of them are just really quick and wink out. Zenda nods towards one of them. Doorways to other metaverses. Here in Arena, you can get anywhere. But it's all chance as far as I can tell. There's no way to know where any of these doorways lead. It isn't just the doorways either. Sometimes entire areas, several miles of them, spill over from another metaverse. Meaning you could enter or leave Arena and never even know it. If you didn't already know that you were here. It's also rumored that they have permanent doorways hidden in Coliseum. Although if that's true, they've been kept secret. It's very, very confusing. I know. I wish I could tell you more, but my information about this place is very limited, and my last trip here didn't go over so well.
What's a Coliseum?
Coliseum. That's the city.
When was your last trip here?
It was a while ago. We're not going to go into that.
That's a city here? Like, in this
It is
place?
where your friends currently are. Yes.
Okay.
What was this? Has this place been another place?
Arena has always been, as far as I'm aware. You arrive at this hidden bunker. It's completely Spartan. Concrete walls. The shower area is only partially blocked inside, kind of like inside of a prison or a jail. There are 9 metapods, though only 5 appear to be online.
Pretty much.
There's a hot plate, some cots, cases and cases and cases of canned food, and jugs of water next to them. And the place is covered in a pretty significant layer of dust, except for the obvious trails where someone has been in here setting these metapods up and dragging in the cases of canned goods and water.
All of which we will be checking the dates on before we eat them and making sure that the seals are intact, because botulism is alive and well. And if you encounter it, you will not be alive and well. Thank you, Fruit Handler's Permit.
There are
Thank
dates
you.
on them, but being as you don't know the metaverse that they're from or the particular date it would be in said metaverse, it's impossible to know. But the interesting thing is more of the contents. You're used to canned beans or canned soup. This is canned bread, canned meatloaf, canned casserole.
We're in England?
You did say
I was
Zenda
gonna
was with
say.
us, right? Andy, as it were, I have found thus far that allowing Mr. Zenda to eat the food first has been a successful approach in maintaining my own health.
Has he gotten sick yet?
Not so far.
I see.
Oh, Aquamarine, I've been meaning to ask. Did you seduce any of the drones?
When?
At Meta End.
No, they kept me alone.
Excellent. Crash owes me $5.
You want to bet? They kept me completely alone. I didn't see anybody.
Even the drones?
No, nobody, nothing.
I'm so sorry to hear that.
Thank you. It's really nice of you.
At the same time, I do like $5.
What I'm extrapolating
Can I have
from
it?
this is that
Well, I don't have it yet.
Aquamarine can seduce drones.
She did once seduce a large squirrel.
I did. Oh, and a monster.
By large, I mean the
shaped
size
like
of
a
a
chicken,
house.
but
When you say seduce a large squirrel,
It was more of a
friend.
first
Promissory
base sort of
thing?
situation,
I see.
at best.
Yeah, like just affectionate.
But it was quite into her. But not into her.
Ugh.
That would have been bad. I figured I should
Considering it's
clarify.
the size
I could see the look on Andy's face and recognize that
Thomas, I like it. It's funny.
this was
That's
something
funny,
else
right?
that has come up at times when she has been in a combat situation.
Yeah.
seducing squirrels.
No, I like it, as it were.
Well,
I thought it was the coming up, but you
Oh,
know.
haha. I don't know if it was the solitary confinement or the paste, but I'm not feeling very seducey lately.
I'm sorry to hear that. You do look quite yourself.
Thank you.
Prison has changed you.
Was it prison? I'm confused. I feel like my connections helped me be a friend in person. And now I like crab cakes.
Well, it is a start.
Poetry.
So, are y'all still cut off from the powers and stuff that you get from?
Yes.
Yes?
In general, in a manner of speaking, with the occasional glitch.
What do you mean?
Oh, I glitch.
You glitch?
You glitch. Does that mean we will glitch? Does that
I
mean...
don't know. Did you ever
that-
see, what was that
Was it
movie? It was
like
a
you-
delightful children's movie. The
Wreck-It
Fred
Ralph.
one. Yes.
Mhm.
Yes. I glitch, as it were.
Like Vanellope von Schweetz.
Yes, except I sometimes accidentally bring things into this universe that should not be here.
Oh, but isn't
Can
that
you
against the
bring me
rules?
Abby?
It is against the rules. However, it does still happen. However, it's okay because technically I'm not capable of being charged with anything because legally I'm dead.
It's the first part of the entire monologue that I actually understood.
Apparently, my death and resurrection was one of the charges that was leveled on the rest of our team.
How interesting.
I found myself in the evidence locker. I did pick up a matter of skills, as
So
it
that
were.
resurrection thing.
So
that's
that
you.
resurrection. What I'm saying
And the
is,
Borks, as
maybe
near as I can
we
tell.
don't have to follow Rhodes' directive. If we can die and resurrect ourselves, our charges might be cleared.
I think it might be possible. Well, there actually is a loophole that you've just stumbled into. Huh. We could play with that
We
later.
could
I
play
don't
with
know
that.
that's one we really want to play with.
You
Leave
died.
all options on the
Is that
table
why you
until
have
such
the-
time as they've been determined to not be an option that we should use. Side note, I read a lot of philosophy while I was in the evidence locker.
What else?
I learned
Okay,
yoga.
so Necromancy Coffee
Not
Shop
to your
is now
degree,
my new
Necromancy
job
coffee
title,
shop?
right?
Yeah, oh yeah.
It's like a combo barista, combo raising the dead.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Burial grounds.
Was anyone hungry, though? I do believe there is some excellent canned bread and canned...
It's really good.
I am hungry. I tried the canned bread.
It's terrible. It's absolutely
So glad
It
to hear
was
Joe's.
not like the crab cakes.
I'm glad we ate at Joe's as well.
Is there a change of clothes?
Oh, yes.
Weaponry? anything
Yeah,
like
they've gathered up
that?
some simple clothing. It's from all eras and various sizes. And as though two men who didn't know anything about women's sizes tried to pick out clothes just based upon their memory of them.
I am taking an Elizabethan ruff and you cannot stop me!
Oh my god, I missed it. I was ready to choose it. Why?
Bruno looks
Leather
for a
pants,
dark suit.
Elizabethan ruff. That's where we're at right now.
If
Is
you're
that what
still
you're wearing
hungry,
right now?
I did bring
Yes.
1 tube of the paste from Meta End. However, I'm not quite sure it's worth eating. It is useful for building things, though.
That would explain why it gummed up my insides.
Yes, I actually made this badge for myself once Rhodes told us that we were going to be working for him.
Oh, cute.
Oh my gosh, can I
You know,
have
the-
one too?
The canned
Oh,
bread
absolutely.
didn't sound appetizing until just now.
Oh my gosh, I want to make a badge. Are there clothes here? You said there were clothes?
Oh yeah, various like this. They're in different states of repair. Some of them obviously are old and worn, and
Like
some
what?
nice. But from all different eras, from like the Middle Ages to the modern, to stuff that you're not familiar with. It's probably from some fashion design years and years down the road from your time period.
Is there a cat suit?
Part of one.
Okay.
Which part?
The lower half.
The part with the tail?
It's kind of torn out.
I was thinking
Thank you for
I was
that.
thinking a
Exactly
Catwoman
where I
look
went.
when I asked
think
that.
that-
Like a
It is very possible to arrange things, especially with your sense of style.
okay, I fashioned something, and also ask where you got those materials for a badge, Thomas, because I want one too.
It is paste.
Yes.
All right, you find yourselves dressed. All right, you better get to it. Tom isn't just going to round himself up, or I guess that most likely would be his goal, assuming each shard has the same cognitive abilities,
Any weapons
personality,
around?
and objectives, which brings the interesting possibility that each shard could in fact really be a facet or a part of Tom.
Oh,
As a
I'm
whole,
not
perhaps
sure
we
if you're
should
aware of this or
subroutine
not, but
this
Zenda does
program.
appear to be losing it,
Don't
as it were.
those are whatever
Oh, does this
questions-
have
Sounds
a
like you.
Ever had
Oh dear, sorry.
No, he
Sorry.
seems to have accidentally somehow been tapped into all of his avatars permanently. I do believe they are residing in his head.
Yeah, we're all here.
Oh,
On the plus side, some of his avatars are quite nice to speak to. On the downside, sometimes Zenda is present.
Yeah.
Right here.
Nah,
you and
technically.
everyone else, apparently.
Anyway, I have the coordinates from Rhodes. You're
How
headed
many
to a fairly...
personalities are in there?
At least 3.
Are
Child's
we done
play.
discussing me?
For now.
I was asking you, how many personalities do you have in your head?
I suppose you would have to ask a psychologist then.
Like Jenica? You don't know where she is still?
I've been looking for her.
It's concerning.
That is very concerning.
I'm not sure. I believe Rhodes when he says that she came through and escaped, but
Do we have any weapons around here?
Oh, yes.
there's some basics to keep the place safe. But you're going to be in the Metaverse. So I have coordinates from Rhodes. You're headed to a fairly standard Earth-type Metaverse. Designation 609. Early 20th century New Jersey, if that means anything to you.
Oh, yeah. Very much so.
You have a 12-hour window before the avatars you are going to be in are killed. Remember,
What?
you are not here to prevent this.
What?
I am to
Are
stress
they
that.
people of temporal importance? Because
They are supposed to die precisely when they're supposed to die. Do not interfere
Says
with
who?
that.
Who says?
Says the course of history. Don't
So they are
alter it.
temporal importance, but
Don't alter it. Don't alter it.
Don't-
12-hour window.
Don't alter.
Just stick
it.
with me here.
Be mindful that he did
12-hour
refer that we
you
will be
have
going into the past.
a 12-hour window to find and arrest Tom.
And not alter the course of history.
Correct. In whatever body he happens to be hiding in. Once you're in and stationary long enough, for me to locate you, I will send you a device that you can use to pinpoint Tom's location. If you get close enough to him, say within about 20 miles or so.
Thought we
It's gonna
couldn't
be a
take
compass.
devices.
Yes, this. Also this.
Except for when we can. 'Cause-
I have no compunctions of violating Metaverse law.
What?
Yes, but
Doesn't that make us
does that make
accomplices?
it makes us complicit? And you know what? We already have too many. You know what? This dying and raising ourselves again plan is starting to look better already.
I will be the one violating the law, not yourself.
Complicit.
By doing what?
Sending a
By sending a
Oh,
device
oh.
that happened to be left for me in a convenient location.
I don't know how your conversation with Rhodes went, but I know that when we escaped, or were taken out, it's released, as it were, the impression that we received was that he might be turning a bit of a blind eye towards some of our behaviors as long as we continue to do that which he wishes us to do.
So
Maybe.
Okay.
Until it's convenient for him not to turn a blind eye.
Yes, I have had that same thought. I'm quite hoping that he dies eventually.
For once, we agree on something.
We live in
Davey's
hell.
here, and finally we have something we can agree on. He's insufferable.
Yes, he is insufferable.
That was beautiful sarcasm.
So we need the device.
I will send it to you after you are stationary. The pods are set and ready whenever you are.
Someone make sure that you don't give the Metaverse boop boop that signals Zenda to Andi. She'll push it every 5 minutes. Hashtag MetaPoint.
That's an excellent point. Thank you.
Thank you, Blarlac. Oh.
Subway 500 bonus 50. The chat abides. Remember, Rhodes only said not to kill people of temporal importance. He never said anything about saving their lives.
Thank you.
Hashtag habitat.
It's true.
That is true. He did not.
He didn't say anything about protecting
See how
anybody.
things progress.
Good point.
Okay.
The Metaverse waits for you. As I said, you have a 12-hour window. Then these avatars from within will die.
So we're like time traveling, right? So is like the clock running now? Like,
Yeah, when is it
or do we always go back to the same time?
It's gonna be 12 hours.
That
from
was
when
some of
we
the
arrive.
philosophy that I read. It was fascinating, the sort of loop-de-loops that you get into when it comes to time travel.
Right? Time is...
Time is relative.
Yeah, I have only a few relatives that I like. They're right here.
Do you have other relatives?
Well, would you like to ever be able to go home with your relatives? Or
Maybe.
one in this case. No?
Home doesn't hold a lot of appeal for me anymore. I found
Ah, I see.
my home. The place I lived before means almost nothing.
I can fully agree with that. I feel the same way about where I come from.
Me too.
Now, having said all of that, and in no way, shape, or form diminishing what you've all come to, I do think it's worth pointing out that were we to not go forward with what we have been entrusted, compelled, forced to do,
Forced will kill us.
we will eventually find ourselves back in that wonderful facility.
Do you think that's what happened to
Without
Jenica?
getting out.
She was inside. We did know that.
I believe the term is we are over the barrel.
Don't get excited.
Not the good type.
Is this there's barrels?
There are barrels?
I'm just like filled with liquids.
Shall we pot it, as it were?
Please.
Alright.
I'll keep an eye on things out here, and once again, try and find Dr. Clarkson and Mr. Robbins.
So
Good luck!
How does this pod game
Don't
work
fuck it
exactly?
Well, we get
Yeah, think
inside,
it's
and despite what Crash might tell you, you don't have to be naked.
Somehow that doesn't surprise me. Okay. And then?
Then the wibbly blobbly happens.
The what? The wibbly blobbly?
And then
Then you're there.
you're part of our world. Or somebody else's
Okay.
world. A world. You'll see, it'll be fun.
Alright. Here goes
Mr.
nothing.
Hamilton has never used a metapod before.
Did you ever read or see Harry Potter?
Not really, no.
Then that won't help you.
No.
But if you had,
Subway
would.
500 bonus 50 so. I feel that there's a dire lack of applesauce here. Hashtag hack attack.
Thank you, Chad. I
Thank
need
you,
to bring
Chad.
some fresh applesauce. I'm pretty sure the stuff that's here expired like last year.
It did.
I don't know why it has been pitched yet.
I wanted to, but everyone keeps stopping me every time I
Seriously?
try to throw it away.
Because
saving it for you.
I keep
Yeah,
I keep
tell me
going to
to
look
save it
at
for
it and I
you.
see the expiration date. I'm like, oh hell no.
They keep telling me to save it for you.
No, I'm good. I'm good. Thank you.
Okay.
So after we go through,
Because hashtag botulism.
Yes, hashtag botulism is alive and well.
wherever we go and whoever we become part of, will I still be connected to them? Or is this just
Oh, I see you're feeling. I am sorry, darling. They cut your bonds to all of your avatars. It's part of your processing and meta-int.
Forever?
Well, it's not to say you couldn't find this person again, but yes, the connection is cut.
so I'd have to find them all to get them back?
Theoretically, one assumes it's possible.
So what about this person that I'm about to be in? Is this just some random person being...
I don't know who other than the 12-hour window.
Well, I don't want to become attached to them.
Then don't.
How?
It's a matter of personal choice.
Well,
Is it?
they're gonna
Is
die in
it?
12 hours, right?
Correct.
So after the 12 hours, won't that be done anyway? Or does that not work with time travel?
Time is relative, Mr. Hamilton. Time is relative.
That's your answer to a
They
lot of
cut
things, isn't
our
it?
connections and didn't give us a chance to say goodbye.
That is correct, Mr.
Alright. Zenda, you were the one doing all the work on those pods. When we, assuming we accomplish this mission and get back and our world is unlocked again, are we able to control those pods to send these guys back to their friends?
If there is a connection available from their metaverse, yes. It's not all metaverses are connected to all metaverses.
Right, but they were connected to these metaverses before.
They move. The metaverse is always in motion.
I'm gonna have to get a degree in physics to understand any of this, aren't I?
Actually, I have done that. It only barely helps.
The figures.
Most of it is theoretical.
It's not theoretical, it's actual. Like, we're interacting with it. Things are
Until we
happening.
interact with it, it's theoretical.
Our understanding of it is mostly theoretical and based on belief in certain concepts being absolute.
I do want to apologize, though, both Andi and Aquamarine. I did not realize you were only just now realizing the separation from our former avatars.
No one told us anything.
For what it is worth, what I've come to recognize while trying to process through this in my own meandering way is that in some ways, as much as it pains me to say this, I somewhat feel that those whom I interacted with are in some ways better off without me right now.
But what if I'm not better off without them?
For what we're currently doing, Mr. Wells is correct. The individual that Rhodes has sent us after, who will most likely kill all of us, delights in nothing more than using your loved ones.
Don't worry, Andi. Your avatars are definitely not confused and hope that you left them behind without a word and definitely not worried about you now.
Oh, thanks.
Wait, strike that. Reverse it. Hashtag hack attack.
Wow.
Thanks, chat.
So, Abby's not reaching out at all.
The individual is incredibly
She thinks I've
dangerous and
abandoned
he
her.
enjoys nothing more than using your avatars and loved ones as extortion tools.
We shouldn't let
Your
them know that
Abby
we're
is
there.
much safer not being bonded to you. Any of your bonds would only be used against you.
So I'm just gonna go out and address the elephant in the room here. This Aquamarine there's been in solitary confinement for 9 weeks and had all these bonds severed.
Yes.
I'm a little worried about you, doll.
I think that's fair.
Mm-hmm.
I want to get into the pod, but I don't know how. I will try my best to help.
Is there like an escape hatch on this thing? Like a button we can press to...
I will be monitoring your vitals. If something is particularly awry, I'll do my best to safely extract you, not repeat things.
Okay.
Okay. Well, we have very little choice, so I suppose we should proceed.
Good luck. Find Tom, arrest him. You step into your pods, and the bright white light of the metaverse surrounds you, and gunfire fills your ears as you enter Avatar. So you please pull your Avatar sheets from underneath your pilot sheets. Aquamarine, you are in the avatar of Faye O'Connor, a struggling, poor, and desperate Irish immigrant from the slums of Atlantic City, caught up in the schemes of your brother's hand. Yes!
Oh my god!
Jesus!
Just like my ancestors.
Oh,
them.
this could be friggin'
And
fun.
now being shot at by members of the feared Nucky Johnson's criminal organization.
Oh my god.
You still can't believe you let your idiot family talk you into trying to rob the most feared and dangerous man on the East Coast.
Oh,
It had to have been the whiskey. Damn devil's water.
oh, but so good.
Andy
we
James, you find yourself in the avatar of Mary O'Connor, aunt
Thank you.
and guardian of her departed older sister's children.
Oh,
The glue of the O'Connor family and the true mastermind behind the robbery. It was not supposed to happen like this. It was supposed to be so easy. You planned everything. Got a job at the hotel even to scout the place. And it all went so wrong. And now here you are, running through the streets of Atlantic City, chased by murderous goons, chances of escape slimming by the moment, and all for $400. $400. That's all there was. How that was even possible, unless Mr. Weathers set you up, that bastard. He must have. But no time for that now. Gotta keep the family moving. Gotta find a way out of this.
So my first question here is,
Thomas
what
Wells!
utter fool gave me a job in a hotel?
Thomas Wells, you find yourself in the avatar of the youngest O'Connor, Danny.
Now, this is little Danny O'Connor. Just how young am I?
oh, Danny.
14. Oh. Oh, God, that's going to be great.
How old is
His
this
mind is racing, his hands are clammy and cold, his heart is pounding in his chest. Over and over again, he keeps seeing it, turning the corner in the hotel, seeing the man running towards him, pistol in his hand, raising his arm, the shot, and then blood. Over and over. You killed a man. You killed a man.
Danny!
Your brother is practically dragging you through the streets, trying to keep up with Aunt Mary and Faye. The gun feels like a lead weight in your hand. You just want to go home.
I just want to go home. Oh.
Bruno Hamilton, you find yourself in the avatar of Michael O'Connor, veteran of the Great Folly trench warfare survivor, the foundation of the surviving O'Connors, eldest sibling, and self-appointed leader. And today, it all went to shit. You should have known Aunt Mary didn't know what she was talking about. You shouldn't have listened, and now little Danny's a mess. Killed his first man. And Faye seems like she might break into tears at any moment. And here you are, stuck with the mess again. Damnable Mary. System shock!
Aunt Mary!
Oh my goodness.
We're gonna go ahead and put you one away from Avatar Aquamarine.
Oh, right. Oh, no.
We're gonna put you exactly in the middle, Mr. Wells.
Oh, that's where I am already.
We are going to put you full Avatar.
Great.
And also full Avatar.
Oh, Jesus. So,
No, Mary.
Jesus.
No, Mary.
Jesus.
What's my age?
My age, you are 29.
What's my age?
29.
What's my age again?
Faye is going to be 19.
So Danny's my brother?
Yeah, Danny's the youngest brother.
And Faye is
Your younger
Your
sister.
sister?
How old's Mary?
I'm the auntie, so...
Aunt Mary?
Mary is 40.
40.
Auntie Mary! So what I'm hearing is I've got no fucks left again.
She
That's
never
true.
did.
It's like the year's like what
1927.
1947. You're 40. You should have been dead like 10 years ago.
Yeah. You are doing remarkably
Well,
well.
thankfully we left Ireland, so I've got a fighting chance of 42.
Mary, I don't think you got to 42. You're not going to make it.
Oh, she's gonna make it, Michael.
Hours.
Michael,
enough.
He's dead.
I'm
dead.
we have a note to
Oh,
please
Lord,
stop
he's
hitting
dead.
the table.
I'm sorry.
I hit it too, I think.
We all hit the table.
Oh, it's reverb.
She's so excited.
Down to the table. Oh, sorry, Jacob. Oh, I'm so sorry.
Just moments ago, you were chased out of the hotel that you robbed. It's owned by Becky Johnson. There are several goons chasing you through the street, and the sound of primitive police sirens, shouts, and more people closing in. You've got to escape. Bad time to hop into avatars, huh?
Is there ever a good time?
As near as I can tell, given the current situation in which we find ourselves, I do believe finding a place to hide might be to our advantage.
Where's the car at my...
Where is the car?
It should be right around the corner here.
It's not there.
Oh, car. Where's the car?
Right, I was pretty sure I parked it here, but we might have been 4 blocks over by the little red ducky
Oh
sign.
no, you're all in your avatars, aren't you? Fantastic.
What are you talking about, Danny?
Pardon me? Nothing. Sister, aunt, mother.
What's going on?
Danny, you're having a break.
Oh, yes,
I know it's hard to...
I shot someone, brother, mine.
Oh, Danny, Mary, we
Quite
have to
confused,
stop.
quite scared, quite... Ah!
Danny needs a swig from the flask.
Oh, Lord, that
That's a
won't
little
help
Scottish.
any.
Too Scottish.
I'm terribly sorry. Did you not bring your own? You didn't bring your own
Oh,
whiskey?
nope, I do have it.
There we
apparently.
go.
All right.
How old am I?
We are all going to
Oh, Lord.
Irish Hell. We are all going to Irish Hell. All right.
I think we're already there.
Fair enough.
I hope
Right.
you're an Irish.
Okay, so we've got to find a plan B. We are we don't have a car anymore, and so we can't outrun them. So I suppose we've just got to hide.
Where though? Where, Aunt Mary? Where?
Well, use your damn eyes. Do you see anywhere that's useful?
Cars are getting closer and closing in.
Street
Runs
smart.
in Irish.
Yes.
Make it by 3.
By 3. You think if you cut through that alley over there...
Of these, much as I love hearing the Irish attempts, hashtag meta points.
Thank you, Chad.
Thank you, Chad.
Thank you, Jack.
You believe that you can cut
my
through a couple of
Irish
alleys
is
and
good.
cut over a few streets and maybe get out of this block before the police cars arrive.
Oh, I'm in a panic. I do believe you all should keep me from running away. And I shall run in that direction.
Danny!
Danny takes off at a sprint, headed towards one of the alleys.
Filled with love for me, you should follow in pursuit.
Come on.
Have some care for your 40-year-old auntie. I'm near death. Slow down, please.
Danny, what's gotten into you, Danny?
Danny's gotten... I don't know.
Weird. He's gone strange in the head.
Do you follow?
Yes,
Yes, Danny!
Of course.
You take off at a run, and just as you're getting into the alley, the first couple of gunshots ricochet off the bricks on the outside of it. And then you're in the alley, and you can hear the footsteps getting closer. Danny is just disappearing around the end of the alley ahead.
Continue to follow?
Chasing him, his legs are a little shorter, so catching up is pretty easy for yourself. A little harder for the pair of you. You're out of breath by the time you catch up, Mary, and, well, you're always out of breath.
Oh, it's the whiskey, but I don't mind.
And then, there's the running one-handed while sipping from your flask, which tends to slow you down as well.
But it makes me run faster, too.
You round a few corners, and you see Danny duck into a broken and burned-out building.
Ah, looks like home.
In, girls, get in.
Danny.
Running inside, you can hear footsteps run past and can hear the sound of sirens, but the manhunt is definitely continuing. But you have a moment to breathe, perhaps take a second and take stock of your situation.
Right.
Now, in my panic, I seem to have forgotten why we shot someone. Could you please remind me?
Oh, we had to get out, didn't we?
You think we're just gonna
Yes.
stay there?
Yes, we did. Were we robbing someone? Yes, we were. It's all
Jesus
coming back
Lord,
to me
we
now.
were robbing the hotel.
Right. I knew that. I'll point with the hand that doesn't have a weapon.
Yes, we'd all appreciate that. I think.
Danny, why didn't you give me the gun? I'm getting a little
Sure, Dave.
concerned for you right now.
Don't worry, just give Michael the gun.
Now I have to take it off my sheet.
All right,
I'm
well, why
sorry?
don't you take a seat then?
Sorry, that was a fourth wall thing.
Between the two of you, I'd much rather Michael have the gun than you, Danny. You don't seem to be very reliable anymore.
I touched Danny's forehead to see if he's ill. You do feel a little
Give me a medicine check,
peakish.
please.
Okay, yeah.
You're going to be using 10s over there.
Oh, I have medicine.
Yes, you do.
I know what cures it. Okay. Ooh, not so good. Probably 14.
You're not sure if he has a fever, but he definitely needs more whiskey.
Oh, Danny, here. Take some of mine.
Ooh,
In the
thank
meantime,
you.
I'd like to
Just drink it.
appraisal
yes, I am.
or notice check.
He's
to see
pretending.
what's around us.
Go ahead and give me a notice check.
Oh, yeah. That's
You're
a-
not sure exactly what this
critical
particular
fail.
building is. You don't really remember. Like, yeah, you're not even sure what block you're on. Maybe did you go left at the alley or was it right? You're lost on it. You could be anywhere. You need to go outside and get your bearings. But with all those people running around out there, that would be particularly dangerous.
My streetwise skill?
You could, in fact, make a streetwise.
I'd like to
skill.
make a streetwise.
What are you trying to decipher with your streetwise skill?
Where we are.
All right.
I know where we are. I do.
I don't know where we are.
You got a little confused chasing after Danny also. I mean, running out of breath and looking around. He clearly knew where he was going.
I'm gonna figure this out though. Whiskey, sad by me. Good luck.
One. It's a 1. I make my streetwise by 8.
Oh yeah, this building, it was once a storehouse for some of the illegal whiskey running operations that were going on, but it was from Nucky Johnson's competition, so he had it torched.
And it probably burned a treat, didn't it? All of that whiskey.
All that whiskey burned up.
We should probably have a moment of silence for it.
No.
I
Shot an unknown gangster.
just remembered that
It
I'm
is
not
still,
full
however,
avatar.
the thing that keeps running through little Danny's brain
Yes,
over and
I'm
over
trying
again.
to make him be quiet.
It's rather intense.
It
Is there anything?
Who has the money?
Well, it's all stuffed down and into my stockings right now. It'll be safe.
Your
I promise.
knickers?
My knickers.
It is significantly less than it was supposed to be.
400.
And we already know that, yeah.
You saw that it was less. You don't know exactly how much less, but that was when you started to get real upset with Mary.
400 in the 1920s, so like we're doing quite well.
Yeah, there should have been at least another 0 there.
Right. So that's not as good.
I mean, robbing the most powerful and feared man on the East Coast was supposed to be a get in,
Who cares
rob
about
and
the
run.
most powerful man
Not
on the
a
East Coast when
money to
you've
get
got
by for a
me?
week.
Mary, this was your plan. This is not going the way it's supposed to.
And it will continue to go. No, wait.
Ah,
Take it back.
that's right.
The information was clearly not good.
Or perhaps their information was better. So,
That's what you said last time, Mary.
Come to think of it, it is what you said last time.
I can use my buff to move myself anywhere on the slider I want.
Anywhere on the slider you want.
So we're gonna.
oh
Oh man, okay.
All right, folks. How do we get a hold of this Zenda's object here, and where do we figure out where what's his face Tom is?
What
Let's
in
get
the
this job
7
done.
hells is
I
a
forgot about that
Zenda?
part. That is what we're
Oh,
attempting
don't
to
worry,
do.
Mary.
Yeah,
It's a
we need to get
drunken
on it right now.
Irish thing.
Statistically speaking, it seems probable that the situation we found ourselves in is highly correlated to the presence of Tom.
Oh, you mean being here in the 20s?
Yes.
So,
Trying really hard to think about it.
are you thinking that Tom is involved in this gang, like in the?
Yes.
I wonder if he's the arch criminal.
Oh.
Oh,
Oh, that's.
she's gone quiet.
I can hear it.
Thank you, chat.
Thank
Danny
you.
boy,
Thank
the
you,
cops,
Chat.
the cops are coming.
The cops are calling. No shaman, no, they won't come. Your youth's all gone.
Persuading.
And soon you'll have
to die.
Amazing.
Love it.
It's good. Anyway, we're talking about finding Tom in
That was
the big
wonderful.
kahuna.
Oh,
It's
this
not an Irish
seems to be a
term at all.
hint of Aquamarine is still present. That's wonderful.
It's just
a
a
bit.
wee bit.
This is a. I don't know how you guys do this. This is.
Oh, that's true. You haven't before. It's quite disconcerting at first.
Try the whiskey. It'll help you.
Yeah, not right now, not so much.
I'll
so.
just take yours then. I'm not opening my mouth when I
At the
pantomime.
risk of sounding
Is there a
thick,
mirror around?
technically I could give you one right now, but that seems like a waste of the ability to do so.
You give us a
That
mirror?
would. Can you give us the thing that tells us where Tom is? Because that would be a good thing.
Not a unique item, though. Or, excuse me, I can't do a unique item.
Aquamarine, you're still who you always were. You've come through the fire and now you get to make the choice of who you are. Andi, ask Thomas about Crash's banana phone. You're not forgotten. Hashtag MetaPoint.
Thank you, chat.
I was crying from laughing watching the banana phone bit. It was so good.
In fact, it's when you mentioned it that you've been in this burned out building 6 or 7 minutes now. There's a brief little flash of light and a little handheld device is sitting at your feet.
That looks like what we need.
Oh, perfect.
I grab it.
All
What is
right.
it?
Just has a little on switch on it and a little screen on it. It looks very, very basic, as though someone tried to idiot proof it.
Boop boop.
Good.
A small little indicator appears
SPN,
in there,
boop, boop.
in the top corner. When you're turning it, it's northwest of where you are.
I walk across the room.
It doesn't move.
Okay, so we're heading to the northwest, but it could be a ways away. How do we get out of here without getting spotted by cops or the other gangs
The
or
streets
whoever all
crawling
it is?
with people.
Oh, we just got to be stealthy.
It's in fact at that
Is there
moment that a
any
group
sort of-
runs
wait,
out
wait,
front,
wait.
and you can hear a couple of them shout to each other. You know, we checked this block. Start checking all the buildings. I want every building checked.
I have a question. So, this used to be their whiskey smuggling
It was
warehouse.
a storehouse
Yes.
for whiskey.
So, that makes me think that perhaps there might be secret passages,
And some tunnels.
ways to get in and out undetected. So,
I also have some disguises.
you have disguises?
I said, Mary, you told me to put them in my bag. Me bag. Do you want the glasses you like?
Oh, the ones with the funny little
The
mustache.
ones with the mustache.
You have a shotgun and you take my pistol. I would like my pistol back.
Sure.
Don't look at me. It was this Michael guy in my head. Like,
True.
I mean, that I'm in
Right.
his
Question.
head.
So I'm going to look for the most heavily padlocked door.
Will you go ahead and give me a notice check?
I
please?
very will certainly try.
Is there any whiskey left over from the days
It
of
does
storage?
not look to be so.
Curses and
Dead
Irish.
on. It takes you about 5 minutes of looking, but you stumble across what you think might be a hatch in the floor, but it's covered by all kinds of burned debris from when the roof collapsed.
Right.
It will take some digging, and it might be potentially noisy.
Right.
Well,
I would like to say, as your de facto mother, you all have chores to do. Clean up this mess right now.
Mary, what?
Excuse me for one moment. Please continue.
I'll start cleaning.
And do it quietly. I've got one of my headaches.
All right, I'm Mary. Sweep, sweep.
I'm gonna check the perimeter. I go around to check doors and figure out where the cops might be breaking in to find us. Make sure they've got a gun trained on the door.
Would you like a disguise, Michael?
So after a few minutes of cleaning around
Sure.
the hatch, you're able to remove all of the debris and do it in a quiet enough manner that no one on the outside knows what's happening.
Perfect.
Perfect. Yes.
On your
When
perimeter
the
check,
GM's
you
away, the
recognize
cats will
that there's-
play.
when you recognize on your perimeter sweep that there does not seem to be any immediate danger whatsoever. However, they are encroaching on our space. Excuse me, your space. So as a result, you think it might be a smart move to open up that hatch and get inside before it's too late.
Great. Let's
I need
do
to
it.
roll to check to make sure you can prep it so that it looks like it's concealed when we're done. Make it quick.
Covert operations. Beat it by 6.
Awesome, you
it's
successfully
success.
pull it off.
So we're inside the tunnel and we hit it perfectly well.
You hit
Put
it
on
as
your
best as you think you
disguise.
could. It is dark down there. It's actually really wide, pretty short, but the tunnel is really, really wide.
Really wide.
Thank
And it's
goodness.
very, very
Like-
dark.
Somebody could probably, I don't know, put a
Drive.
cart down here or
New
something.
avatars, and it sounds like initiative is looming. Let's have some fun with the hashtag meltdown.
Jeez.
Oh, no.
That's
No.
oh.
Various
Oh, no.
Irish
Thank you,
people.
Chad.
First meltdown.
Right.
No, it's very, very wide. Like somebody could, have a whole cart down in here under the ground.
Should we look for a cart? Is it too dark?
It is really dark in here, and you don't have any
Right.
handy light sources.
Hey, can you
the
pass me
flashlight
some of
is
that
gonna-
whiskey?
All right, fine.
Thank you
Here,
very much.
some extra.
I'm going to tear off a bit of my shirt, wrap it around a stick, which I assume I'm carrying, and make a torch.
So
It takes you a few moments, but you get it up and burning. Yeah, it's a dirt cave for the most part. It's been, reinforced and shored up across. There are definitely ruts in the ground, as though a wagon was put in here fairly regularly.
Any sign of the wagons? Any?
It would seem logical to
Prints?
follow the tracks of the
Follow
wagon.
tracks, yeah.
What is your little device thingy?
Wait, which direction is the tunnel going?
This tunnel's going south, so nowhere near the
All right.
direction you want to go.
But it should, if it gets us out of the area, then we can double back around the outside. We'll have this direction.
You head south, and after about 20 minutes or so, the makeshift torch is burned down to almost nothing. And there is no end to this
How
tunnel.
far is this tunnel going? Have we
Yeah,
seen
it's
any
going
signs
is
of
pretty slow.
exits?
Have we seen any sign of a cart? My legs are killing me.
Maybe we should take a little rest.
12 hours.
Oh, right. Thank you.
Let's keep moving.
And it's right when you're at the last bit of embers of the torch that you can see an end to this tunnel, which is completely collapsed.
Ah,
Bloody hell.
And then the
Jesus,
torch goes
very
out.
interesting.
Of course it does.
Well,
Or you could really get a good look
Dump
at
that just
anything,
figure
too.
Great.
Can you make a second one?
I've only got so much of your shirt left.
and so much whiskey. Daddy work. What a thing to say.
Give you a sock.
Right. I'll take your sock. We'll make a sock torch.
You get another one lit and get closer to this rubble, and you can see that somebody took the time to try and cave this in, perhaps behind them or on purpose. You're not really sure. But you can see little spots of light coming through on the cave-in now that you're up close to it, so it's obviously not very far. Or
Could a
very
14-year-old climb through it?
You could probably move a few rocks and scamper through.
I believe I shall
And
attempt to scamper.
Faye is particularly small and could also quite easily fall.
And we.
I'm gonna grab the
It's
shotgun,
a
use the butt of the
malnutrition,
shotgun.
isn't it?
It's the malnutrition.
It is the malnutrition.
It's the whiskey diet.
Turns out you can't just feed children on potatoes.
Welcome to being a bile at Bruno. Have a hashtag cool rule to celebrate.
Nice.
Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you, Chad.
Thank you,
Thank
Chad.
you, Chad, very, very much. Awesome.
Cool.
Whatever the scamper check would be, I beat it by 5.
You're able to wiggle through, move some rocks, and you get to the other side. And you're just outside of another building that's in the middle of construction.
This does appear to be a construction site on the other side.
Perfect.
Right, can you
Start-
bring
start
round a
digging with the
hammer and
shotgun
make
to
some
get open.
space for us, the rest
to
of
go
us?
with Infra's rule of cool. Plus
Oh.
one hashtag check power to force Thomas into the personality of Presto.
All right.
Presto.
Thanks, Chad.
Perfect timing.
Wow, thank you.
Presto.
Merky,
So we have
Until he
Irish-
dropped it.
Irish
Soon.
gangster Tom's Presto.
So then I will go and explore the construction site and try to find some crowbars or something else to have.
Oh yeah, you get a crowbar, some shovels. There's all kinds of tools
Much
lying
of it will
around.
pass
It
through the
looks
other
like
side,
someone
as they have a very much stronger.
Looks like
strength
someone or
score.
someone's abandoned this work site in a hurry very, very recently.
Oh, that's not foreboding at all. Yes, I would like to pass crowbars and such through to them to dig from the other side, and
Already
I'll
explosives.
do what we can do from this side.
Not that you see.
Do I get to use my body or my athletics when I'm pilot?
Which side are you on?
So I'm full pilot.
Use everything off your pilot sheet right now. You do not have access to your avatar sheet right now.
Okay.
Because you're in full.
So I'm gonna start digging using Bruno's
considerable strength. It takes you a couple of moments. Bruno moves rocks one-handed that would probably take 2 people to move, and just kind of shoves aside stuff.
Only I'm small, so I can squeeze through a smaller hole too.
And in no time, you've opened that up for everyone to pass through.
Cool.
It's a construction site, like you described. Looks like someone is building a warehouse, and you're not entirely sure, but it looks like they did this little collapse job to hide this tunnel and fully intended to keep this tunnel operational for whatever it is they're building here.
Sure. Is there a truck on the side and a car? Or
There
something
happens to be, yeah, a big flat
excellent
loading truck inside.
I'm gonna go run over and hotwire it, and then let somebody else drive.
This thing is old.
Beat that by 10.
There's not really a hot wiring involved in this old picture. But
Crank it up.
one of the few times when being as old as you are comes into play, you are not as unfamiliar with this style of automobile as anyone else would be who is significantly younger than you. There were still some of these driving around when you were a little kid.
Wow.
Damn straight.
And you get it up and running, but as you do so, you see someone from across the street duck back into a building, clearly having spotted you.
Look at my transponder. Is it anywhere
You
near
moved
the direction
further
of-
away, but not very much. Like it's barely moved.
So we're driving across town. Let's get out of here.
Excellent.
You guys hop into the truck. 2 of you can fit up in the front with him. In fact, all of you could. but they'll
You
be
should all
cramped.
buckle up for safety. However, that is not an option.
Yeah, that isn't.
So
there
just
aren't any
pretend
seatbelts.
that you're buckled, and I will feel better.
Not a single seatbelt
All right.
in it. And Bruno is driving.
I was gonna let Thomas drive.
Yeah, I don't have any driving.
I assume it's a stick.
Oh, it is.
Great job.
You get it up and it rumbles and it grates a lot as it starts moving along.
I'll make it by 4.
You don't wreck running into anything, getting going. There's no power steering. There's no power brakes. All the
You're
things that
doing
you're
great.
used to with an automobile are non-existent.
Doing great.
And with those really large front tires, every corner is a Herculean effort.
We are escaping
Great.
on a truck now. An old ass truck.
It's belching exhaust, and every so once while the engine sputters and coughs very, very
So
loudly.
keep turning and see how long it can go.
I imagine I have half. Hold on.
And I think Presto's driving now.
Oh.
Yes. All right.
A change definitely comes over Thomas as he's at the wheels, or little Danny, depending upon who you are examining him.
I know what you're thinking, Michael. That is your real name.
Danny?
It's Presto.
Who?
Presto from
Unfamiliar with whom you are speaking.
Galaxy Tales.
Where are we going? Drive.
Actually,
I use it.
Actual
Meta
fuck.
voice. I'm using one.
The cartoon world?
Point used.
Yes, the cartoon world. I don't know why Presto is here, but I'll use
Technically
another one.
speaking, I am the best navigator here. I should be driving the vehicle. I think we should all just enjoy the ride in silence.
How's it going, Presto?
Wonderful.
Everyone give me a notice check.
Why? What did you notice? What did you see? Who told you? I've never betrayed this game.
I failed mine.
Oh,
A notice check?
I
You are
also
entirely distracted.
failed mine.
I failed mine as well.
Excellent.
3.
My notice is pretty low, though.
This thing doesn't have a rear view mirror, but
No.
you just happen to be looking over your shoulder when you see the first couple of police cars pull out in pursuit.
I do
speeding
believe
up.
we have police officers following us, the cops, as it were. Coppers, yes, that's the term. You should do something about it. I'm driving, do something about it. Thank you.
Do I have any weapons?
Let's go ahead and do some initiative, guys.
Great.
Initiative, we use 12.
Go ahead and use your 12s for initiative. So if you have an initiative bonus, make sure you use whichever is most relevant to you. Like if you're full pilot, use your pilot initiative.
22.
Wow, that is impressive.
24.
Also impressive.
I only have a +2, so yeah.
Are you
23 for
because
Bruno.
of a glitch right now? Or because of
17.
chat? Got it.
17 for your good Aunt Mary.
Excellent. And for Bruno?
23.
23, wow. That is impressive.
What type of vehicle am I driving?
It is an older truck.
Like a pickup truck?
Well, it's like a flatbed built onto the back. Like they
Flatbed.
probably use this to haul their lumber.
Is there
to
anything else in the
construction
back? Does it have a
site.
cargo section, or is it just flat?
Not really. It's just, it
Heavy
has the
though.
nice curved old style from the
What are these
20s.
police officers driving?
Slightly more modern. They're actually, 1920s era automobiles.
What does a horn sound like?
This vehicle does not have
Awooga.
one. That's an aftermarket accessory in this
Sounds
time
like the
period
train.
for a truck.
Yeah.
Apparently that's my train sound.
It's very sad.
That is sad Chewbacca.
Oh.
It's kind of closer to sad Chewbacca than
It is sad
Yeah.
Chewbacca. So Aquamarine, you're going to be going first.
The coppers.
Yes, there are 2 cop cars behind you at the moment.
Aquamarine, I am currently overcome looking at Presto here,
Okay.
as Presto is reminding
Well, you
me
should be.
of Galaxy Tales World and Sojourn, and
Oh.
I am overwhelmingly distracted and locked in a bit of a trauma response moment.
So you're holding your action?
Completely
Yes.
frozen in place. Aquamarine seems transfixed. Bruno?
Bruno, on the other hand, having been snapped out of his confusion about the rabbit person sitting next to him,
I still look like
It's
Now
still
as-
exactly the same physical appearance. He's
yeah.
only acting differently.
And using an English-ish accent, which of course means he cannot be trusted.
That's right,
They're full of Irish people.
That's right,
right.
So Bruno now has something to focus on, so he snaps out of it, climbs over whoever I need to climb over to, I'm not sure what order we're sitting in, to get to the door, swings open the door, climbs out onto the back, and takes a shot. Actually, I'm going to grab your pistol, because it's going to give me a better shot at tires than the shotgun will.
You believe you have 2 attacks, correct?
Yeah.
All right, so one of those will be used to make an action hero test to pull off the climbing out of the moving cab into the back.
Only made it by 2, because I've rolled really
Still
bad.
enough, and walking across that back bed, and then give me a shooting test for the first vehicle.
Made it by 13.
That is a critical success. It is like a scene out of an 80s action movie, and impossibly more so due to the massive weight that these vehicles have. But for some reason, when you hit that front left tire, it flips completely over 3 or 4 times, crashes into the side of a building, and it is monumental in impact.
Does it take out the other cop car? I'm not sure.
Just the one.
Just the one? Okay.
Thomas, one of those cars just went through a building.
I don't suppose you verified that they were hostile first, Bruno.
They're chasing us. They're hostile.
They're behind us. It's different.
Is it?
How many vehicles are left?
Just the one.
How close is it?
Very. They're much faster than you, and it's been
for
gaining
the
on
love. Ram the car.
you. That would be apply the brakes in this case, because it's behind you.
Perfect.
All right, you give me a driving test. I need another action hero test,
use
but
a
this one
moment
is
of
at a
clarity.
-2 for multi-action penalty.
Oh! -2?
Yes, -2 penalty. So your skill is 2 lower than it would normally be.
I still made it by 1.
Still made it by 1. You pitch forward face first, but manage to grab onto and slow yourself on the bed just as that car impacts the rear of the truck.
I do believe the phrase is brake check, Bruno. I do apologize.
And the impact is pretty solid and smashes up the front, but as he accelerates off, it takes a little bit of a stagger stop, but that police car continues its pursuit.
Right.
For Mary.
Well, I'm here to cheer you all on. Let's start there. After all of the hard work that I put into raising you, after your own poor mother, my sainted sister, died, I would just like to remind you of your filial responsibility to keep this family together and not incarcerated.
Excellent speech, Aunt Mary. If you would now please return fire or add some.
Right, do I have any weapons?
You do have a pistol.
I do? Where? I didn't. Oh, there it is.
Yes.
Brilliant.
You have actually the most modern
Michael's
handgun
shotgun is
of
sitting
the
next to you in
family.
the seat, too, because he took the pistol out.
Right.
And yeah, there is a
You're
shotgun
right,
on the
Aunt
seat.
Mary. We're a family.
We are a family. Shooting is 14 though. Shooting's 14. Okay. Cool. In that case, I am going to take aim not at the tires but at the driver.
All right, fire at the driver.
Mm-hmm.
Give me a shooting test.
Oh!
Ooh, that is
Beat by
quite
7.
the shooting test. You shoot the driver through the thick, heavy windshield right between the eyes. And the car turns into a building and stops.
Wait, what kind of building does it turn into? Is it like a pop-up pavilion? I'm sorry.
I visualize the same thing.
Because I've been wanting a little pagoda for the back of the garden, you know.
And it's as you're
Your
leaned
birthday is
out and
coming.
swinging back in that you get the perfect view from the passenger side as a truck impacts the passenger side of the vehicle you are in.
Of our vehicle?
Yes, you just got rammed.
Oh.
Give me a driving test over there.
Hold on.
Do I?
I didn't see this.
No.
What he's been eating is carrots.
Do I get to go?
You win this time, GM. And the next.
Your action is still held and we're still on the first round, so.
It's a moment of clarity.
So, does that mean -4 penalty for me to react to that?
You don't really get a chance to on this one. It is too sudden, so. What is that driving test over there?
I'm going to moment of clarity and use my Patreon buff. I beat it by 11.
By 11?
Oh, Jesus.
You barely turn. Maybe 3 feet off course before correcting back again. The impact is solid, but for some reason, just not enough. You are almost knocked free.
Nice try, Foxman.
While you're kind of
Sorry,
moving
Nicholas.
through the air as though you were going to fly off the bed, it's like his driving is so good. He swerves the bed back underneath you and catches you while you're still in air.
You're welcome.
Thanks! Nice driving.
Yes, it was.
Your action is held. This is the end of the round. If you're going to act, this is your last chance. Then we'll go into the next round.
Okay.
So we have a truck to contend.
There is and more coming.
I would like to make a complaining check about this.
Absolutely, you may.
I succeed by 6.
I would like to hear it.
I'm just going to complain. That's all I'm going to do. Why are there more vehicles coming? They don't know where we are. This is ridiculous. We have no tracking device on us. Oh my god, the thing you're holding is a tracking device. No, they wouldn't be able to use it because we're in the past. Although technically we're in the present for these fools. Foxman.
Yes!
Fueled by the
I'll press
complaining rant, plus Aunt Mary's plea for family obligation, plus the whiskey coursing through this body here. I'm going to take. I have a shooting device, I assume.
Absolutely, you have a revolver.
Oh, right there. Okay, well, I use my revolver to try and help the family at the car.
Are you
That's
going to
what
go with
she's doing.
the more Michael approach and try and disable the vehicle, or the more Mary approach and shoot the driver?
I'm really feeling fueled by liquor, trauma, and love of my Irish family. And
That's
I
safe.
feel like there might not be a rhyme or reason, but more of a direction.
Okay.
And not a...
So you're just going to shoot while
You are
I'm
shooting
gonna
in the
help.
general direction.
I'm gonna help the family, and Presto's here too. Ah! She's crying. I'm so drunk. Oh, so drunk.
Give me a shooting test, please.
This is starting to sound like Friday night.
I know. Oh, I beat it by 4.
Wildly shooting. Several bullets fly from the end of her gun, but one of them somehow, pure luck, strikes true, hits the gentleman in the shoulder, causing him to jerk at the wheel and crash off to the side, up onto the sidewalk, and then into a light pole.
To be fair, he's been a jerk hit the wheel this entire
I
time.
was going to say, complaining check, referring to him as a gentleman seems most uncouth and tells us whose side you're on, Mr. GM. Beat it
Also,
by 2.
I want to know when he became a part of the landed gentry. And how do I get some of that?
Did you see that, Aunt Mary? Presto?
I like Aunt Mary. I think we should bring her with us. She's a feisty one.
I like this.
Did you see?
It is at this point that the majority of other cars in pursuit catch up to this slower moving truck.
How many cars are there?
At
Can
this
we
point,
see
there's
another
going to be
vehicle?
8 more vehicles
Oh,
that have joined
There
in.
weren't 8 cars in 1927.
Of them,
I object wildly.
3 of them are the simple Atlantic City police cruisers, and 5 of them are the more opulent and nice cars used by Nucky Johnson's gangsters.
Nucky Johnson?
Nucky, Eunice,
Nucky.
Nucky as he's affectionately known, or not affectionately known.
Nucky Johnson.
Nucky Johnson. Okay.
Tom might be Nucky.
But for these 8 cars joining in is when I really want to use that rule of cool. Because I feel like dealing with 8 chase cars is the appropriate place for a rule of cool. Especially because I've seen what somebody did with cars 2 and 3 once, and I'm really excited to what they can do with cars 1 through 8. You don't have to be Presto anymore.
No, it's fine. I'm just trying to think of what to do. Right? I
All
don't
right.
have to be pressed
Now, what I want you to do, because something we've established, is I want a re-roll for initiative for determining order in this rule of cool that we're doing.
Oh no.
To see who has to talk about what they're going to do first.
Right. Oh, yikes.
24.
24.
21.
21.
9.
9.
It's enough first. 19.
19. All right. Okay. In the chase car, there are 8 pursuers.
There are 8
what
pursuers.
would you do if you could do anything?
If I
in
could
this
do
moment?
anything.
Physics be damned.
Physics be damned.
And before you do that, let me ask, chat, have we hit Waffle yet, by chance? Does anybody know? Double checking. Yes, we have. Double checking.
Yeah, I don't know.
That is true. You don't say that the team up is there in there.
20
away from Waffle. Ooh. No
Okay.
Waffle. Yes,
we
boosted.
Cab.
Oh, so boosted, guys. So make sure
So I'm feeling like.
on your pilot sheet you have access to this guy right here now. All of you.
Remnant of the past.
That
Oh,
is-
Jesus.
that is open to you now. For you,
What?
it is that one. Yep.
Oh, no.
Yours is on yours.
Yep.
I don't think
And
I have
yours.
Oh.
Yours hasn't changed from the previous season.
I forget what my boosted was. Help me,
Access
chat,
and
you're
powers
on
of a
the phone.
previous avatar.
Right.
A power.
A power.
So keep that in mind as we did hit boosted. Yes, I refer to boosted as waffle powers, just to confuse you.
Oh my gosh. So
Ah.
excited.
No, but there are so many choices.
So I want to make
here.
sure you know that you have that on the table.
Subway 1000 bonus 100 make it $10 to a waffle #MetaPoint.
Thank you.
And also keep in mind that Team Up is in the store as well.
Okay.
Team up.
Ha. You had to make it harder.
Absolutely, and also more interesting.
Okay.
And also, you're still full avatar, right? Or
I am
so like,
still full avatar.
so that's
Oh.
Mary tapping into Andy's powers.
Absolutely.
Jesus fuck. Right. I
Welcome
think
to
Mary's
Metaverse.
a brutal bastard, so...
Talk us through, if you could do anything right now, what would Mary do about these 8 chase cars?
So we're like on a city street in Jersey, right? So we're
Atlantic
talking,
City.
Okay, Atlantic City. So like,
It's a dirt road. City street is a strong word.
right, and it's like 2 to 3 cars wide is all.
Yes.
So when we got 8, most of them are in a row.
Yep,
coming
pulled
behind
in
us.
from behind
Yeah.
on the other streets, attracted by the gunfire and siren sounds from the other cops.
And the buildings to the left and right of us.
Storefronts, houses, basic stuff.
Okay.
They're rapidly thinning out though as you're heading further north. You're getting to the less populated, less dense parts of town.
Okay.
More residential than commercial.
Alright.
And 27 Atlantic City is not particularly large. I mean, big for a city in 1927, but to your standards, very small.
Okay.
Ooh, cool.
And I can only one.
Only A.
Oh, God. Alright.
Oh, even in the room?
For this. Only A. One.
One?
One power or ability from
And
a
it's
previous
8
avatar.
cars?
Some of those powers and abilities were rather ridiculous.
They were.
Remember, this all stems from your ability to be creative.
Yes, I recognize that. You've just given me too many options. And now I want to go in 1,000 different directions.
It's earbuds.
Okay.
Let's get that waffle.
Let's
Thank
get
you.
Okay.
Yes, the waffle.
Thank you,
What
guys.
was that for? Was that a meta point or?
Not sure.
Didn't say.
Let's keep the spotlight nice and bright on Mary over here.
Aunt Mary.
How do you save your kitten?
Well, I wasn't planning on having any children myself, but then my sister up and dies, and now I'm saddled with a lot of you, which I didn't ask for, and I will have you know, each and every one of you, I did not ask for that. But I've grown fond of you, I suppose, the way that somebody becomes fond of the cat that comes round the back door asking for milk every morning. And I need you to understand, I'm not a rich woman. I am not a rich woman. I didn't have a ton of milk lying around for all of you little pussies to have. And so, unfortunately, I am fond of you. And just like the little bastards that ran my cat over when I was but wee, I will exact my revenge for any bastard that tries to kill my little kitten. So, I am going to...
Oh, Aunt Mary.
I'm alrighted.
She always knows what to say.
You brought this on yourself. I need you to know that. And so, I will leapfrog from car to fucking car
Yes.
with my razor blade in hand and take wide slashing strikes at the hands on whatever wheel I happen to run across. So, it's a combo. I'm a ride it and filial loyalty with a razor blade.
Huh. My idea sort
All
of,
right.
sort of goes with
I've
that.
got to save my kittens.
Sweeney Talladega Nights. Okay.
Sweet Talladega Nights.
I like that a lot.
That is it.
That's a really good one.
I like that. All right. Next, we're gonna go to you, sir.
All right, so we're driving down the road. We've got the police cars chasing behind us.
And the important thing we should talk on is you are in the back of said vehicle.
I'm on the truck.
They are in
Yeah,
the
I'm the
cab.
back. They're all in the
You
cab.
are on the back.
Oh.
So what Bruno's gonna do is he's gonna use his action hero heroics He's going to wait for just the right moment, run off the back, jump onto the first car, run up onto the roof of the first car, and take a shot at the driver in the arm of the driver of the second vehicle, so that he will get hit in the arm, yank his steering wheel over, and turn and take out the third vehicle, causing a big pileup, so that all but the first car are eliminated from being able to chase us as they build a big pileup in the middle of the road, and then run back and hop back onto the truck. That's the
A
plan.
7-car pileup. I like that.
Yeah. Create a 7-car pileup and get back to the truck.
I like this. All right. Aquamarine. Faye O'Connor.
Okay, so this is just one rule. Can it be one power that happens?
Just tell me what you want to do, and we'll work from there.
Cool. Okay, great. Fueled by a whole lot of trauma and the need to
This episode brought to you by trauma.
ding every day. So every time Aunt Mary talks, I feel like Aquamarine like speaks to her soul, because all she wants is to have friends again, thinking she can't, but maybe she can. Anyway, here's the point: is that I also thought about leapfrogging, but mine involved a previous avatar's ability to mold metal into whatever I want.
Oh.
So I want to help Aunt Mary. Crazy Aquamarine.
Bless you, child.
So you got a razor blade. That's interesting. Made of metal.
It is, in fact, made of metal.
The first car that we jump onto together with that razor blade.
Okay.
I'd love to.
So, can I interrupt? Are
Yeah.
you going to be using one of the team-ups in the store then?
Oh, do I have to do that?
You
for
don't
this?
have to. You can.
Does that
Do it.
Does using a team
All right.
up give
Well,
us
you're
more
using
stuff?
a team-up. You guys heard that? A team-up will be... It means that when you do, should, say, you not get voted and have to make the skill test,
Yeah.
you will do so at the highest possible score between you and the person you are teamed up with.
All
For
right.
whatever skill it happens to be, or multiple
Yeah.
if it happens to be.
All right. I would like to.
Uh-oh.
We're gonna
As
lose.
as I scream about Aunt Mary and my family and Presto too and everyone, I want to meld the switchblade with the car into like a massive big giant weapon for Aunt Mary to wield to
So I'm
hit
sorry, are
everything.
you using a car to make my switchblade,
Like
my
a-
razor,
Your razor. Big.
enormous?
Yeah, a big
And
one.
a sword.
A
Wait, did you
kaiju-sized
give
razor
me-
blade?
Yeah. I can do this for you and for us.
And for one round at least, Aunt Mary won't be traumatized by this.
I'm your kitten, Aunt Mary. We're your kittens.
And you've given me claws.
I'm giving you the claws, Aunt Mary. We're all your little Irish kittens.
So you're going to turn her razor blade into essentially a kaiju-sized razor blade?
Yes.
Okay.
And we can't get your kitten, your
Final
wee
Fantasy.
kitten back when you were wee, but we can do this for you.
My
Oh,
kittens
man.
have given me claws.
And maybe she's sweating a little and still little tears.
That's beautiful.
What is sweat and what is tears? It doesn't matter.
Right? The
And
whiskey
you're
is
using
also
the team.
enjoyed. The whiskey
The
is part
whiskey
of
is being
this.
sweat out.
Now,
too.
as a side benefit of using the team up is if either of you don't win it, no matter what you're doing, you will use the higher score on whichever sheet because you are teamed up. For the
That
round.
team only applies for them, correct?
Correct. It will whichever two individuals are
Right.
teamed up.
So do I understand correctly that each one of my compatriots has decided that they are going to leap from the vehicle that we are driving?
That's correct.
All of them are leaping from
So,
the vehicle.
in that case, rather than use a whole bunch of other resources, I do believe what I would like to do is to use my expertise with American automobiles, which I assume this vehicle is. and it's
Absolutely it is.
1927. In addition to my own driving skills and, frankly, a moment of clarity to make sure that I do this well, regardless of what happens. And since you all intend to, I believe the phrase is, ride that whip, I intend to crack it. Taking the vehicle, hitting the brakes, flipping it sideways, such that you all three will be expertly propelled into your destinations. In other words, I'd like to just assist them.
Interesting.
Cool.
Of course, if chat doesn't vote for that, and
Oh, I'm
you
going
proceed
to succeed.
fail,
It doesn't matter.
Okay.
Because I'm going to
I was
cheat.
going to say
Because you're going to cheat.
if you were to fail, that
No,
could
I'm
have
kidding. I'm
interesting consequences for the rest of us.
I literally can't fail this roll even with the penalty.
Nice.
Oh,
Excellent.
okay.
Well, guys, you have them. It's now time for you to vote. What's it going to be?
Larry Dixon is man crushing on you, Chris.
Well, it's because Shimmy isn't here, so.
Oh, fair.
So there's "Cause I'm going to cheat."
I like that name because I'm going to cheat.
Kitten claws.
Kitten Claus, Sweeney Talladega Nights
Mm.
combo.
Great name. That was
Good
such
names.
a great
Yeah.
name.
And 7-car pileup.
And 7-car pilot.
They're
I
all
like
good.
that.
They're all cool.
Oh, repeat it, damn it. Okay. What are we repeating, AK? What'd you miss?
So 7-car pileup is Bruno.
Mm-hmm. Oh, there it
Nope,
is.
Got it.
There we go.
Whip it good.
Surf the first
Sweeney
car and cause a
Talladega
pileup.
Nights.
Disarm the
Buster
other drivers with
sword.
a parkour razor blade. Turn the
we
razor
re-
blade into a buster sword and whip it good.
Yeah, Cloud.
I am Presto.
You're Presto.
Cloud's weapon. A buster sword.
Assuming I lose, I will still make my check by
Why?
3.
What? There's a bunch of votes for 4. Is there a 4?
There are 4 people.
4.
Okay.
So technically there are 4.
All right. So even though they're teaming up, it's still 2 separate votes.
Well, you know, I set the team up in a fashion that Vanessa's actually expertly capitalizing on. You could totally backdoor away and cheat.
That's true. Technically, if I win, then you all at least land where you need to.
That's true.
It's not unwise.
Yes, cutie Aunt Mary with
Buster
her
sword
big
launcher
ass
to
sword.
Yes.
I'll say thanks on Chris's behalf, Sarah, because he just ran
Thank
to
you,
the restroom.
Sarah.
Yes. Oh.
And I will say thank you. Such wonderful jobs with the Irish accents today, guys.
Yes.
Thanks. That's what I'm actually not half bad at. So I'm like, all right, I can do that. Being as how I'm like half Irish.
So
I am no Irish. I am
So
I am the
because
evil English.
Aunt Mary's
Sorry.
Rule of Cool
I'm
won.
also English and Scottish.
Does,
Oh,
and
okay,
we're
so
teamed
I'm just
up.
British Isles.
Does that
British Isles and a
mean-
little native.
Well, the
Native
loser
American.
still will lose, and the winner will still win. But with team up, you will use the best available score between the sheets.
Cool. Great.
So
Okay,
if
so
one
I'm
of you
gonna-
has a higher, and you're doing fighting for whatever, then you'll use the higher fighting score. If one of you has a And where it really comes into play is if you're not doing a rule of cool, that using the team up will allow you to act on the higher
Oh.
initiative score of the
I
pair of
just
you.
got
You'll have to-
disarm.
It's kind of a fun one to do.
Cool.
It does mean less overall number of attacks being dealt out to the enemy. but-
Disarm and the Zenda meaning of disarm.
Hashtag
Disarm like
clarity
Zenda.
lock Presto.
Yes,
If my
like-
budget allowed, I'd do it again.
Oh.
Also, Thomas' bonds are all well intact because he wasn't processed at the end.
That's true.
Oh.
It was just evidence.
Okay, so
He's not the only one.
All right, guys, let's see how that vote ended. We have Andi James as the winner with the disarm the other drivers of the car, or Sweeney Talladega Nights, as I've enjoyed calling it.
That's a great name for it.
it is a great name.
That means everyone else is going to have to still attempt.
Thanks, Sarah.
Now, I'm going to start where we ended rather than where we started because that's the most important one, is whether or not you could deliver it. And it was beaten by 3,
Beaten
I
by 3,
heard.
yep.
So it is perfectly executed. The crash, the flip, it's like a Jerry Bruckheimer flick. You've seen him a million times.
Physics be down!
Next up, we will go to the 7-car pileup. So, which skill are you using to accomplish this? Is the shooting skill, I believe, and the action hero skill, right?
Right.
Those are penalized by 5 because of the not winning the rule of cool vote.
So do I need to do both since he just landed to be in the right spot, or just take the shot?
I was
since
going to
I'm
give you
already
all
there?
extra penalties if he had failed
Botulism?
instead of doing anything else. But because of that,
Okay.
you get bonuses instead.
Sorry?
So instead of doing
It's a lot of bonus
5,
here.
let's say if the penalty is only 3 this time.
Okay, so With a penalty of 3, that means I made it by 4.
Beaten by 4.
So
Okay.
that's to land appropriately.
Absolutely
and
land
fire away.
on the run.
It's over a year old.
And that was a 3. So with a
Ooh.
penalty of 5, that brings it up to 8. For shooting, that makes it beat it by 10.
Wow.
Still a perfect
So-
shot. And your jump is actually timed perfectly with the others. It's as though all of you had the same idea to leapfrog vehicles at the same time. And while you were doing it, your driver had the idea too and set it up so that it was perfect.
Well,
Some
that's
teamwork.
Excellent. I'm rid of them all.
And then he drives away.
We'll go to you next.
All right.
Now, you are using a power use one, which, you don't happen to have power use on your sheet, but over here, there's a power use.
Oh, there is a power use.
Right there on that sheet, so you get
12.
to use that score of 12 that you don't have.
Okay. -5.
Still, but there's a moment of clarity in the store
Can-
left if you wanted to use it
yeah,
and roll those
sure.
8s.
Oh,
Roll-
yeah.
roll
I'll
the
use,
8s.
I will be using
Or
that.
or
I
you
also
can
have-
use a
And
meta
you
point.
still have a Patreon buff there. It's pretty
We're
significant.
good. Okay.
So
Patreon
13
buff.
penalty by 5 is an
I'm gonna-
18.
I'm going to use my Patreon
Patreon buff
buff.
drops it down to 11, which
Thank
is
you.
1 under what you need to succeed
Thank you,
in
Patreon.
turning the giant razor blade into
Patreon for the win.
existence, which is, of course, a critical success. But because it grew so big, you don't just cut the hands. But you cut the hands and the bones and the other side of the skin, and then through the floorboards and the feet, and just kind of takes the front off of a car and takes the
It
front off
slices,
of a
it
car.
dices. Don't answer yet, just look what else you get.
Exactly.
Do you like your new weapon, Aunt Mary?
Do I ever?
I think perhaps we should start calling her Aunt Bloody Mary.
Sorry.
I got enough alcohol in me.
And as quickly as it began, the chase is over. There's a wreck behind you. Traffic is stopped. Any other cars that were trying to pull out into the street to get in pursuit have a huge mess to try and make their way around or backtrack around for several blocks to try and get in pursuit.
Perfect.
Leaving you in the clear as you exit Atlantic City into the farmland surrounding it.
Wow.
We go.
The dots on the device are starting to slowly grow closer to your position.
Oh, the boo boo.
Yes.
I forgot about the boo boo.
I have a lot of whiskey if anyone wants any.
How do you still have whiskey?
I've got it's everywhere.
So what I'm hearing is I have $400 on me and you have $400 of whiskey on you.
That's right.
We are rich.
Right?
You don't really spring for the good stuff. So no, $400 is.
I don't know. She's been drinking it pretty steadily, and there's still
Yeah.
plenty left. So
She
it might
doesn't
be the
spring
cheap
for the good
stuff. I'm
stuff.
just saying it might
It's
be
the
the
cheap
cheap
stuff.
stuff, and she might still have $400.
$400.
We might have made some of it ourselves.
It's
Well,
the
then
best
it's
stuff.
priceless.
It's the best stuff there is.
So we're just chugging along towards this dot.
What are we voting for?
Oh, I think there's a waffle boy.
Oh, no.
Just like voting for things. Okay,
Yeah.
got it. Understood. I was confused for a second there. So yeah, you get about 10 miles outside of Atlantic City with no further pursuit. It's just quiet.
10 miles, 1927. It's the farthest anyone has traveled in a day.
It is quite the distance. And closer this little dot gets. And eventually you reach a crossroads where it's almost on top of you, where the little dot is. There's no real close by buildings or places. There's a couple of cottages and an old church are the only buildings. But it looks like it's got to be that church.
Oh, old church.
It's our ultimate goal to
When's the last time anyone's
kill
reached
the town, as
confession?
it were.
I was about to ask you the same thing.
His words were arrest.
How do we arrest him? If we're
Are we
gonna
about to arrest a priest? Oh, Jesus. Jesus, Mary and Joseph, I don't know if I can.
Ish. Sexless
I think it
thing.
might be
Well, anyway.
Oh, that got dark.
Church! No, wait. Nope.
I want to stay out of that conversation.
Yeah.
So old church. Beep beep.
We're supposed to arrest him.
How does one do that when these bodies are going to stay here, we're going to exit? What do we do with Tom?
I'd like to use knowledge metaverse.
Excellent. Please do so.
I'd also like to move towards my pilot.
A meta point.
With a point.
Using 1 meta point.
Actually, how many points do we have?
Right
I'm going
now.
to use my buff to move all the way over to full pilot, and does anyone else want to move where they are?
You have the option. They don't really have a choice.
But does anyone want to move where they are? Because if someone does, you can be moved now.
Move Mary over a little.
Yeah, that's very everyone. I'm gonna.
Have a little bit of Andy left. There you
Yeah,
go.
it'd be nice to see Andy.
I'll stay here. I'll stay here.
Fantastic. So we'll keep the meta point, and I'll get rid
Hey
of company
Thomas, remember you can use your buff to put a little more Andy into the nice Catholic
Oh,
woman. Hashtag phrasing, hashtag planning.
man. Well played, Blarlock.
Blarlock, wow.
Played, Blarlock.
Great minds think alike. That was smooth.
Yes.
Nice
so
and
go
good.
ahead and I'll get rid of one of my buffs, and we'll still have 5 meta
Yep,
points.
still keep that meta points. We
I'll
still
go
have
over
5.
there.
Sorry about
And then,
that.
yeah, I'd
Okay.
like to make some metaverse knowledge to figure
Please
out.
do.
I roll a 6, so I beat it by 10.
You're not 100% sure, but you think if you can just hang on to him, then Rhodes would probably show up and arrest him. So he didn't really tell you to do anything. And it
Interesting.
doesn't seem like he would want to take whatever person is being occupied into custody.
Okay.
So how do we? Oh my God! Is there going to be an exorcism of Tom?
Well, we have a middle-aged priest.
we have a lot
I
of.
can split the difference.
We have a lot of Irish zeal.
Fourth
So
wall joke.
that was good. That was good.
In case anyone missed it on the bingo earlier. So
God. That's amazing.
Yeah, we weren't given any.
me breaking fourth wall is on their
You
list.
can't touch him.
You've done it.
There you go.
You can't touch him with anything, Bill.
Maybe with friendship.
Maybe.
Friendship is
Well,
magic.
what do you mean? Oh,
Well, we don't have a device that just
Ah.
touch it unless we do. Unless the
Wait, what
boopy-
does the boop boop?
Does the
Well-
Is it like Ghostbusters? Like
no, it just seems like a little handheld thing to
Let's
display.
find the
And then
guy
on
and
off
then we'll
switch.
figure out what to do next.
Most of it looks like it was built to be really sturdy and idiot-proof. You could probably hit it with a hammer and it wouldn't break.
I mean, if nothing else happens, we can't figure out anything else, then
I have an idea on how to contain him once we find him.
okay.
Park in the church, climb out of the rig.
Any sign of it's nighttime, right?
It's
Evening?
about late evening now. Yeah, it took a while to get out of town and out this way.
Any sign of lights on in the church or the other buildings?
Some of the scattered cottages that are about a quarter mile away, or so you can see lamp light coming from the windows. But you don't see any light
Okay, but
coming from the church.
they're far enough away that the dot would not show up directly under
It doesn't
us.
seem like that he would be in those places. No, they seem
Okay.
further away.
Okay. Do we want to split up and take multiple entrances? Do we think...
That's a quaint old style church with a little tiny cemetery in the back, fenced in.
Well, it's most likely then got one small entrance and then the main worship space, possibly a choir loft.
Shouldn't we all stay together? We don't know the.
Just wondering if he's going to jackrabbit or what the situation is.
It's possible. He could go out a window. This building does not seem especially stable.
stained glass?
Breakable.
Hmm.
And somehow I don't think that would hold Tom back.
Hmm.
I got an idea. I walk over to the main doors. Is there like a lock on them or a bar? Are they just open?
Then just open it right up.
Do they open outwards?
Yep.
Just gonna grab them both, yank them wide open, step in, and use my Bruno buff to auto-succeed on an intimidation check. And shout out, if you're in here and you want to live, you better come out with your hands up in the next 30 seconds.
That's a long time.
The inside is
One,
not
two,
decrepit at all.
3.
It actually looks like people regularly use this church, but not the wealthiest individuals, as obviously they aren't putting a bunch in the on the plate. It would be nicer and a little more fixed up. You can see some of the pews are like a rock under here to keep it from falling over. Someone has taken a lot of time to...
They would have used old bulletin pages or
See?
they'll do that.
There we go, perfect. Old bulletin pages.
How long
And
is-
someone has definitely
Maybe a
taken some
shim.
effort to keep this church up and running, even without any kind of real resources.
How long have we been here so far? Do we know?
You have only been here about 9 hours.
9 hours.
Well, so we've
Any
got 3
sign
left.
of him?
I was
It's up
getting
there.
to that.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Right, if you're being 32.
I keep answering questions.
Oh,
but
sorry.
yeah,
I think
because
we're
you
staying outside.
go on there, you do your shouting into the air as such. There's a queue up for the
We're not in
little
Ireland,
podium
we're in
and-
New Jersey, as a reminder.
Yeah, Atlantic City. Well, north of at this point.
True, 10 miles.
There's a little podium set up, for the priest to give his sermon to him, and a little back corner area that kind of has a curtain in front of it, like sort of a privacy screen, where there's a little cot set into it and a nightstand, and that's where the fireplace is inside of here. It has a little kettle on it and steam's coming out of it. And sitting over that little desk is a man with the back of his head to you. Looks like he was reading a book or writing a letter, you're not really sure. Or you come in, give a very, very scary and frightening loud shout, and he kind of does a little shake for a minute. He says, well, can I help you? And a gentleman turns up and stands right. He's got the priest outfit on and everything, but something is off about it. You give me a notice check.
Made by 6.
The printing on like the undershirt, though it's still black and white and everything, is a Hawaiian floral pattern.
Of course.
Hiya,
Well, come in.
Tom.
Can I help you?
Tom, you're
Father
under
Tom.
arrest.
It's Father Tom.
You're under arrest.
Oh, all right. Come in. Have some tea. Sit down.
Hello, Father Tom and Mary.
Lovely to meet
Nice
you.
to meet you.
Please sit down. Have some tea. I've got a few old biscuits. It's not much, but I'll share with you.
I think we're all going inside then.
I mean,
I mean,
Mary
you
did,
two
obviously.
I
have,
did. I
so-
obviously have, yeah.
Please sit down.
I'll come in as well and kind of lurk off to the side like
Yeah.
an awkward 14-year-old.
I definitely don't sit down, but I'm watching.
It's not great tea, but I have some. There's some chipped and broken cups and clay mugs and passes around. So,
Bruno, do we believe that this is Tom?
We do.
I don't think I broke any laws. What am I being arrested for? If I can ask, I'm sorry. I don't mean to offend you at all.
Father, I have some theological questions for you.
Of course.
Right.
Anything I can do to help.
So,
Does it indicate that it's him?
I mean, the sensor's just showing the general vicinity, so unless there's somebody else hiding in this church, it's him.
what are your feelings on how we should end death and destruction?
I do not believe I understand you. What you
Well,
mean?
I'm just saying, so if you had the whole of the universe, if you had control of every single person, how would you go about ending death and destruction?
Oh, I don't know. That's a big question.
We don't know how to arrest him.
In the middle of this conversation,
Yes.
I'd like to pull out a taser
Okay.
and shoot him.
Give me a shooting test.
Rhodes didn't.
You make it by 12.
He's in the middle of answering a question when something hits him in the back of the neck, and he just starts twitching wildly, and then hits the floor on his face.
Are we supposed to kill him?
I think
I
we can
like
arrest
that.
him now.
Well, what does that mean? Arrest him? We don't know what to do.
Not quite sure, but I think we should
It's
bind
at
him.
that moment that you hear several vehicles pull up and park
Oh,
out front, and many doors open and shut.
Do you think that Rhodes meant us to kill him? Do you think
No.
that's
I
what
don't think he
arresting
did.
But if
is?
we're supposed to arrest him, someone hold him down and try to arrest him.
Oh.
But there's no.
by the power vested in me as a badass ant, you are under arrest. That's all I've got.
You are a badass ant.
Okay.
He's still got the shirt on, correct?
Grab one of those sash things and tie his wrists up behind him.
They're called a cincture, unless you're talking about one of the stoles. That would be not a good thing to use.
Sure.
Stincture it is.
Cincture, they're the ropes.
Ah,
Those things, yeah. The rope things.
There'll be some behind the pulpit.
brilliant.
Bruno's gonna go back towards the entryway and stand by.
A bunch of
just make a
goons,
religion check.
rifles and shotguns climbing out. A couple of them point at the truck, and they kind of form a perimeter around the church.
I'm just still controlling the taser right now.
I think I
Are you
know what happens
continuing
in a
to just
couple
shoot?
No,
hours.
just as he starts getting up, I want to keep him down.
Yes,
just
I
in
think
case.
it's
He's
quite
just
clear
mumbling.
what's going to
You hear
happen to us.
mumbling like mismatched Bible passages. Like he starts one and then goes into another.
His theology's all out of whack. Rhodes, are you coming now? I believe we have him contained.
This is horrible. We're just going to sit here and these people are going to die in 3 hours.
You young folk ever seen Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid?
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Any of those movies.
But it's history, right? This already happened.
We knew it would.
Doesn't make it easier. This is still happening. Well, I don't know what to do. What is arresting? You've got him. Tasered, now what?
He's roped up.
So you've now tied him up at this point.
Now we're just sitting ducks.
Rhodes!
Great!
Not a single response.
So can I do a notice
It's
check?
clearly
Do I
tough. That much we
notice
know.
anything that could help us out in this
You
situation?
heard people outside. Every so often, he twitches and kicks. He'll probably regain consciousness in a minute or two. Just seems to be a little out of it at the moment. Tasers have that effect on
I
people.
mean, candidly, I thought about holding on to some sort of lethal weapon for whatever would show up later, but we've been told that these avatars are doomed, as it were.
Yes.
True. I was thinking more of a cruise missile.
Again, with the holding on to objects from other metaverses.
I like the way you think.
We'll work well together.
Oh,
He's coming back around.
Tom, are you in there now?
Father Tom.
Not Father Tom, the other Tom, the Tom who seems to be compelling this Tom.
The power of Tom compels you.
The power of Tom
Thank
compels
you for that.
No. That's not right.
Tom, you have on a bit of a Hawaiian shirt. Is that a reason for that? Or is there a reason for that? It's a bit of an anachronism on top of the fact that
no
it's
matter
not
how
something a
many
priest would
times
normally
they
wear.
change me clothes, it's always here.
Ah, interesting. So it does seem he's unaware of the fact that he's both Tom and Tom.
I don't know what the fire you're poking with, but you don't need to do that. You really don't. I do whatever
Well,
you need.
you are a sinner and must be punished. Don't pull the trigger.
Do appreciate
Good
your
Lord.
humor right now, Thomas.
Did you just make a revamping Doyle reference?
I did make a revamping Doyle reference.
That's amazing. There's like 2 people in chat who have any idea
I
what that's
know.
about, but I love it. Alright. Nobody else can play more.
Well, can I touch?
We go backwards.
He's all. Can I? I'm gonna touch the shirt.
20-year-old in joke, baby.
I know.
Shirt. Well, it's a pattern on like the undershirt of the priest clothes. Like,
So
Can
like
I
the,
take it off?
shouldn't be.
the clerical that he's wearing is...
I want to take it off.
You
Okay.
start
Interesting.
stripping
Like a
the clothing
watermark?
off of the priest in the church.
I am trying to take off
That
the
seems
Hawaiian
like a very
shirt.
Aquamarine thing to
Ideally,
do.
it's the first time this has happened.
I mean,
I'm
she
doing
could
it.
just like
You strip him down to being
Veil Aquamarine.
shirtless
This seems really
Okay.
in
obvious.
no time.
Okay, I'm holding the shirt.
Does the Hawaiianness seem to be about his person now, or is it still on the shirt?
No, but as you like strip away the shirt, now his socks, which were like a regular pattern, have a Hawaiian pattern to them.
Okay, well, clearly it's there somewhere, and this seems to be indicating it. So it's not a physical item.
No. We probably
Although I'm
don't
quite
need to-
curious what will turn Hawaiian style if we take off everything.
I take off his socks. I take off his socks.
Hey, they deserve.
Is your hair shirt like
Now what? Now what's?
Now he's in pants.
defrocking the priest?
Now his pants are Hawaiian pants.
No, he's just in pants.
Oh, okay. We can all assume his underwear could be Hawaiian underwear,
Oh my
but I'm
God.
not going.
Bruno,
much
would
as
you
I
do the
want
honors
to.
and check, please?
Bruno, I mean,
The
please.
hell tosses you the shotgun, walks
He's
over
definitely
there,
a priest.
he yanks him off,
And now he's a man in Hawaiian underwear. Black and white Hawaiian underwear.
and the underwear
Take 'em
comes
off.
off.
Now what? Now what?
Can I have my clothes back?
No.
Is anything else Hawaiian now? If you don't mind, I'd like to verify.
Come on.
Watch band, dog collar.
Just look yourself. Just look
I will
yourself.
confess, sir, I do feel sorry for you at the moment. This has to be confusing. If it's any consolation, I do believe you should believe it's just a bad dream when it's all said and done.
Look, I'm sorry. Okay, I'm sorry. Just look yourself.
I still don't know what we should do.
Give him back his shirt and socks.
So here's the
I
thing.
leave.
When these others
Thank you,
enter,
thank you.
I do believe we're all going to die. It would be a shame for him to as well. We should hide him somewhere.
I mean,
If you're looking to hide from the men out there, you can hide here. I won't tell him you're here.
No. I'm trying to find a place for you to
Do the
hide.
people that are
so
outside,
that
do
when
they
you are
observe
eventually arrested,
sanctuary?
that will take place even though we'll all be dead.
I'm sorry, I don't mean to ask too many questions, but I'm confused by this arrested thing.
Yes, you seem to be possessed, as it were.
Definitely.
Don't worry, we'll all be over soon, and we'll be dead.
I'm still voting.
Take me
for
away then.
I'm still voting for an exorcism.
Fantastic. We hereby arrest you, Tom. Or we take you away, Tom. Or we something you, Tom.
Can we press
please,
the button?
please take me away if I'm possessed.
Yeah, press the
That's not
button.
safe if I'm possessed.
Press a button, see if it works.
On the
On the
sensor?
poo-poo.
There's just an on-off switch, right? On the sensor.
Yeah, just an on-off switch.
Switch it off.
Switch it on.
Switch it back on.
The dot shows up again, right next to him.
Switch it off.
Switch it off.
Have you tried turning it on and off again?
Switch it back on.
The dot is still right there.
Okay, well, he has said that we can take him.
That's true.
Ow.
We've tried saying that he's arrested.
Okay.
What are the villains outside doing?
They look like they've set up a perimeter, but they appear to be losing patience. And
They are
some
the
of them
gangsters, correct?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Do we?
Gangsters.
So
Right.
we can't claim sanctuary. I mean, that's age-old tradition.
We could attempt it.
We could attempt.
The worst
claim-
case is they'll just shoot at us, which I think they're going to do anyway.
What's the
I would
heritage
love to
of
have
the
a cup of
what's
tea, though.
what are these Johnsons? Is that there? What's the
Well, we already checked Johnson. It's not Hawaiian.
is a priest?
We didn't check, but
Thomas checked. The gentleman outside with the Tommy guns.
They're not Thompsons yet. Those won't be around for a little while longer.
Yeah, wrong. Yeah.
But there's
10
quite a
5
few
more years.
Browning VARs out there.
Okay. Those gentlemen, they're with which gang?
Well, he doesn't claim to be a gangster. I think Johnson is a established and respected politician and does happen to run, all of the illegal booze and
What
the
is
gambling
the-
places, and might tentatively be in alliances with some of the New York crime
So
families.
do we see-
But he's a legitimate
Okay,
politician.
so here's
Nucky.
the question. Peeking outside for a moment, do we see the person who is obviously in charge of this group?
It doesn't look like it. That, in fact, seems to be why they've waited. They must be waiting for someone who is in charge.
Godot. We're fine.
oh wait, is Nucky not out there?
You doubt he would ever make an appearance in anything
One of
involving
his
gunfights.
Wait, are you-
would show up. So
Telling me that an allegory for God
The-
might not show up in a church?
the Almighty
And
Johnsons.
that was the pastor making the joke.
Wow, wild. I like it.
That are all here. Are they? What heritage are they?
The majority are just they're not Italian Americans. You get a lot of Irish Americans and a lot of other immigrants. Unlike the New York families, Nucky isn't prone to the blatant racism of the other criminal organizations.
And religion? Do we know? Are they Catholic or?
He claims to be Catholic, but Mr. Johnson hasn't set foot in a church in at least 2 decades.
So sanctuary is probably not going to work then.
I do have an idea if he appears.
Yes.
I'm afraid to share it with the GM.
I see. Would you do us a favor and step out, please?
That's a different one.
He's humming.
I was thinking using my boosted ability of friendship to force the leader guy to make everyone else laugh when he walked inside and deal with him solo.
Cool.
Yeah. Interesting.
That could work.
Is it safe?
Yep, you're good.
Okay. I didn't hear any of
That was new. That was a different experience.
Just for safety's sake, I'm going to splash some holy water on our priest, just in case.
Would you like some whiskey?
Absolutely. Thank you.
Here you go. I feed it to him.
You feed him whiskey.
I take some too.
You feel a little better.
Ever done an exorcism?
I think we should try it.
Do you know how?
Try not to hold it against me, but I'm Protestant.
Nobody's perfect.
Tomatoes, tomatoes.
Doesn't mean that we can exercise that while we're at it too.
It's actually quite rarely used, but there is a Church of England ceremony to be used for exorcisms. Little known fact.
I've just learned a thing.
Me too.
Mm-hmm.
Having Thomas around is like having the Google.
It is the Google.
And it's 1920s, so there's no cure for that yet.
And the pills of white mercury won't help.
Oh, God. Vaccinate your kids, people.
Be sure to have your pets spayed and neutered.
And exercise your priests.
Take them out for a walk every once in a while.
Exactly.
I love the chat to put up the question: how many potatoes does it take to kill an Irishman? When England can tell you the answer is 0.
Wow.
About 30 minutes passes.
Whoa!
going
And
back and
we
forth
have so little
in the
time.
beginning, and these cars being set up when a nicer vehicle pulls up, and someone who looks like they're in charge gets out.
Oh, maybe that's Nucky.
Do you know who this is?
You don't recognize him by name, but he's a guy that always seems to be, to the left or to the right of wherever Nucky Johnson happens to be standing traditionally.
Clown's to the left of me. Joker's to the right. Which one is he?
That's where Tom stands.
Stuck in the middle with you?
In the past, when we saw Tom
Oh, God damn it.
compelling others, he frequently stood behind them in that kind of shadow form, shadow way.
Have we been harassing a priest
the
erroneously?
I think it may still be connected to the Hawaiian shirt. Something is amiss.
Yes.
Okay. Does this person have any visible Hawaiian
No.
accoutrement?
Not
No visible though,
anything.
but we know.
Excuse me, are you the man in charge?
Gunfire erupts from the cars out front, and they
That's
spray
not
the
a viable
building with
answer.
bullets.
Again, you sir who just arrived, are you in charge?
More gunfire, and now they're moving in towards the church.
Stop attacking my kittens!
Oh, Aunt Mary, you're just so sweet till the end.
I don't want to overstep myself, but I think maybe we should hide.
I think that's a good place to hide then.
Oh yeah, I've been trying to tell you.
Where do you want to hide?
Underneath the pews, there's an access to a spot below there. They used it during the Underground Railroad.
Right,
Okay, well, you're coming with us. Great. Yeah?
There better be an underground.
What do you guys think?
I mean, it's viable. At the moment, though, they are quite aware that at least I'm here. It would seem silly for us to all hide, in the sense that they will be looking for someone.
So shall we all hide
Well, I
and you
can stay.
execute your plan?
They know I'm here. This is my church.
It doesn't seem right for
What
you.
are they gonna do? I'm a
Yes.
priest.
Yes.
Yes, they will.
Yes, they
Oh
will.
my god, are you kidding?
And we're quite certain that our ability to arrest you will be hampered by that.
As long as they don't shoot you.
Oh, that's quite noble of you. And
They're going to shoot
untom-like,
us.
I must say.
They're going to shoot us.
Well, we can't let that happen. We should hide. I would. Yeah, tell them that you broke through a hole in the back and ran out. I patched one the other day. You could probably pop it free pretty easy.
Thomas, you know one hell of a lot more about computers than I do, but if he's all broken up, doesn't necessarily mean each part of Tom is going to be the same, right?
Correct.
It'll still be Tom.
That's a
But
This
even
could
then, we
be-
still have not figured out how to extract the Tom, as it were.
arrest. Yes.
I mean, I've got one option. I don't like it.
Yeah. What?
I don't know if it's right.
Should I
They're
avert
coming,
my
so you better
eyes?
decide. Do you want to hide?
I,
you
for one,
thinking-
love
Show
to
us the
hide.
hiding spot.
Come on.
Is there any of the church silver down there?
No.
What about the church whiskey?
I only have one bottle. It's over my bed. He hops over, his arms and legs down. Go ahead. I can't move it because I'm tired, but it's down there. And well, you might want to, they might get suspicious.
I don't know about this suddenly.
What?
The whiskey.
Accepting help from Tom.
I mean, we're still stuck in the sense of we can't figure out.
I know.
Are we in agreement that this seems to be Tom, based on, if nothing else,
Yes.
the Hawaiian shirt?
If, if
yes.
this isn't Tom, it's not anybody up there. It's got to be somebody hiding down below. But the appearance of the Hawaiian shirt,
The Hawaiian shirt, pants,
could Tom
Boxers?
generate that?
socks.
Could he be below us? The sensor still shows him right here, and that was before anybody else showed up. So he's either here or he's in this hiding
When he
spot.
What if
moved
he's not in the
to
church?
the podium, it moved.
Do
in
any of
proximity to
the all the gunfire coming from outside? A quick question for you.
Shoot.
case in point. Are they all? What are they firing with?
A lot of them are using 1903 Springfields, but there's a few scattered BARs, which are automatic weapons.
Perfect. I would like to use friendship on one of the people with a BAR and convince him that he should start shooting his other enemy, the other people.
Are you using the power of friendship?
I'm
over
using
there?
my boosted ability,
Using
and I
the
am
boosted
making
ability?
it by a hell of a lot, given that I just rolled an 8.
The shooting, which seemed rather organized for a second, takes a dramatic turn, and there's a lot of shouting going on inside, and less of the bullets are hitting the church.
Cool.
And you think you hear a lot of them hitting cars and maybe people outside.
I would then like to use one of my boosted abilities from the last time we played that I didn't use to take over one of the other guys through the power of friendship and convince him, rolling a 7, that he should also start shooting at the other bad guys, minus the one who's helping us.
And all hell breaks loose outside.
So, Father Tom, that bottle of whiskey by your bed.
It's right there.
Let's try going underground and see what happens.
Okay, that sounds like a
I
good
think the
idea.
others are distracted for at least a short
Freeze
day.
ankles.
Freeze ankles. All right.
What else do you got in here?
Some tea and some old biscuits, like I said.
Old tea.
Well, my tea isn't old.
Let's go downstairs. Come on.
Okay, come on.
It's a ladder that goes down, and the room it would barely fit this table in it. It is really, really cramped. Like someone just made a hole in the ground, covered it up.
Nobody else could be in it.
When's the last time you were here?
I don't ever go down here.
Does everything look as it should?
Looks that way.
Is there anything different than was here before?
I don't see anything different. The shooting intensifies outside, and one of the doors bursts open. A guy staggers through. He's bleeding all over the place and lands on his back.
Not quite how I thought that was gonna go, but
Is this one of your
it works.
friends?
Oh, that's true.
What?
What?
Sorry, could you say that one more time? I was distracted.
The doors have now burst open, not because someone was charging in, but because they were shot and fell in. But you have a better view of the carnage going on outside. It's pretty divided. The two gentlemen with BARs have a nice secure spot. They're keeping the heads down of the others who are trying to shoot back, but seem disinclined to kill their friends.
Hey, Tom.
We're down there with Tom.
Yes.
You and me.
Father Tom.
What can I do for you?
I don't suppose you have anything like a loot box around here.
Well, what would you like?
I would like... Oh, Jesus, what would I like? I would like,
The means to arrest you.
Yes.
The means to arrest you.
basically. I was trying to figure out what those would be. I would like the means to arrest you.
Ah, well, this should do it. Loot box.
No fucking way!
A loot box crashes on the ground in front of you.
Why did you tell me about that before? Why did you say anything about that?
Bruno's like looking
Do
up.
you know what you just did? Father Tom, do you know what you just did?
Yes,
Not
serious
exactly.
advantages to have been on Project
But
Metaverse.
when,
Right?
that's exactly what she said. A loot box. I knew I had to make something appear. I don't know.
I'm just going to gently open this, and hopefully
Be careful.
you are divested of your Tom problem.
Be careful, Aunt Mary.
You open it.
I do open it.
You open it, and you see like a little beam of light come from the priest and into the box. There's kind
Does
of
it
a
have a
swirling
Hawaiian
Hawaiian
print?
pattern to
Yep.
it, and then goes into the box, and the box shuts and disappears. The priest falls over on his face.
Well,
Get
that was
man
better
some
than.
tea.
Is he dead?
At that moment, bright white light surrounds you, and you're back in your metapods.
Okay.
Wow.
Are the
Well.
O'Connors dead? Nobody. I say to
Oh.
the metapod I'm in.
Well, that makes me feel better. I was really not
Zenda
looking
is
forward to
waiting
shooting
for
a
you.
priest in the head.
Well,
I was pretty certain that was the idea that you had.
how did it go?
Messed up.
Did you get him?
Yep.
Yes.
And we got a really great view of him as well.
We had
Thanks to the machinations of certain people, which surprisingly this time was not me.
We had to find out if his.
On the
Anyway.
plus side,
Somehow,
the
I
odds are
don't think
good that
either
we
of
will
you
never
ladies that was your
again
first
have to
view.
strip one of the Toms.
Wow. Thanks, Gramps.
We don't know
Sounds
that.
like I missed out on a great time.
I mean, am I wrong?
So you got him then.
Yes.
You may be sweet there. but you're not that innocent.
You know, the thing Rhodes never explained to me was how you were going to get him.
Yes.
How'd that work?
Well, thankfully.
Frustratingly.
So Andi asked him for a loot box?
Which I never would have thought of.
Well,
we didn't have
And
loot
he
boxes.
generated this giant box of like a ghost trap thing that just trapped him.
Just like Ghostbusters, like we had
Just
thought.
pulled it out of the metaverse.
Well, like it fell out of the sky, only there was no sky, there was a ceiling where it should have fallen from.
And a floor. We were underground.
And a
Yeah,
floor.
the Tom.
That's very.
The Tom did pull it out of nowhere, but he didn't know how or why.
Interesting. Well, while you've been in there, your friends are attempting the impossible task of infiltrating the organization of the most powerful and ruthless criminal in the metaverse. No big deal, right?
Which is
Personally, I would rather we all just run. And run far and fast, but I've come to realize the futility of that, having done that more than once. We're in this, whether we want to be or not. If any of us make a mistake, if any of us slip up, if any of us say the wrong thing, or in the wrong place, we'll all die. All of us. He won't stop at just one of us if he finds out that there's pilots
Who
here.
is he?
yeah. Who's he?
He goes by the name of Antonius these days. They call him the king of priceless things.
The king of priceless things.
Yes.
Sounds like a reality TV star.
You're not far off. I know some of you lost some very important personal connections recently, and I can sympathize. But I need to
All the
know
years are still
that
in your
you're
head.
here now and in this. You're not halfway.
We just spent the last 12 hours on this mission. Why are you bringing this up now?
Because I'm not really in this, and if there's even a doubt from one of you, then I'm going to take my chances and run. But if you're all in this, maybe we won't all die. Just probably.
Oh, he's so inspiring.
I mean, what else have we got to do?
Excellent. I found a case of really good wine.
Ah, is it canned?
No, it's the good stuff. I don't know what metaverse it fell out of, but I figure maybe we should
My God,
enjoy
comes
it. It's
in a
unlikely
box.
we'll get a chance to do anything like this soon, so we might even die tomorrow. Who knows?
We going out on another mission anytime soon? What's the plan?
Absolutely. As soon as Rhodes sends me more coordinates.
How soon is that?
Well, we have this thing. He drops them in a metaverse I'm familiar with, and then I just summon them.
And we might
Like I
be
do with
tanked
things.
on box wine when he does. Perfect.
Yeah, see, that would be my concern. I don't drink before a mission.
Time is relative. Sober up first. I want to thank you all for watching Masters of the Metaverse today. We'll catch you all next week and see what happens next. But I think there might be something else happening this
Oh,
week.
yeah.
Are we doing something else this week in studio?
Oh, right. Yeah. So, forgot about that.
Announcements.
So, we are still working out exactly what day of the week Death from Above, Big Stompy Robots is going to be playing on. Pardon me. We think we know, but gotta verify it with a couple of scheduled things happening, conversations this week. But this Wednesday night at 7 o'clock, some of us are going to get together and play some BattleTech. And I'm going to try to remember how to play it so that I can functionally GM.
Yay!
It's going to be fun.
7 p.m.
Yeah, 7 p.m. Big Stompy Robots.
Oh,
Although,
and,
honestly, if you guys get here earlier, want to start playing earlier, that's fine.
And next week, we've got a few waffles to look forward to. We'll add the new one to the count, and I think we might have to do another waffle concert next week.
Yeah, it's about that time again.
It just
I'll
might
write
have
one
to
if there's
happen.
some extras.
Yeah.
And if not, that's okay too.
Hey, I'm not even here, so
Yeah.
You're not next week?
I'll be here.
Okay.
Rhodes will probably show up, so I'll probably be here.
It's good chances that Rhodes will show up.
You know, I really enjoyed that. I will be honest.
Rhodes?
Excellent.
Yeah, that was
It
fun.
was illuminating.
Oh, I do
I
kind of
wrote
wish.
down some rules.
I do kind of wish I'd held off and just dropped a cruise missile on all the bad guys. It would have been funny. It's happening someday.
Because
We
that
know.
clearly wouldn't be breaking any of the metaverse laws.
Hey, as long as it's a cruise missile from this metaverse, that should be perfectly legit.
Well, we'll see you all next week, everybody. Love you all. Good night.
Love you. Goodbye.
Everybody.
Good night.
Masters of the Metaverse, Masters of the Metaverse. They travel through time and space and stuff. Troll them, re-roll them, throw them above. They fly through dimensions, this isn't a bluff. Heroes compelled, they have no choice. Bound by the winds of a secret voice. Masters of the Metaverse, Masters of the Metaverse. Masters of the Metaverse, Masters of the Metaverse.